Hey guys, welcome to episode 292 of 4Player Animecast. We are in the last round of reviews for our Winter 2026 season. After this, we're going to have our preview show at the beginning of April for the Spring 2026 lineup. And then afterwards, we might have a little bit of a schedule change up. Again, we'll keep you guys updated on the social media landscape. But as usual, I am your host, Spire, and with me are my compatriots Near,
So,
Toast.
Oh, why are you making me do this when it's a nice day outside? It's the first day of spring, man.
I apologize. And Dark.
Hello.
All right, so let's get right into it. Our 2 weeks, starting with Near. What have you been up to these past couple of weeks?
um, jack shit mostly, to be honest. Yeah, I've really not been doing much. Kind of just chilling, playing games.
All right, yeah, that's still pretty
Yeah,
good.
that's about it really. I've been kind of droned out past couple
How's
weeks.
RA9
I have not,
near?
I have not bought that. I do not buy games at full price anymore. So,
Did you know there's a Resident Evil sale
That's
going on?
wow, yeah, I did know that. A lot of
Did you
a lot
buy
of
any?
Resident Evil games are like $5. Good deal.
Did you buy any?
I'm pretty sure the only Resident Evil game I don't own on Steam that's on sale is like Resident Evil Zero. So no, I
Don't you
did
love
not.
the proto zapping system?
Yeah,
yeah. Oh wait, so which games did you play?
I haven't bought anything, but like just saying like there is a Resident Evil sale on right
Oh,
now, but it's like
what have you been playing near?
um what have I been playing? I mean, I've been playing a bit of Monster Hunter. I've been replaying Resident Evil 4 remake actually.
Hmm
And trying to do that.
In preparation for 9, I get you.
Yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
skips 6.
I've been trying to
I mean, Near and I
professional.
played through 6 a while
Oh yeah,
ago.
yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
It's
yeah.
only when you're playing
terrible.
with
I've played
friends.
through
Yeah,
6 a few times, but I mean, I boot up 6 every once in a while just to play Mercenaries, just because
fair, fair.
One's
on
good.
I don't know, core mechanics level, the game is good. But yeah,
Yeah.
I've mostly just I've been trying to get the S plus rating on professional in RE4 remake. It's kind of tricky,
Sounds
but
pretty good.
Ever make a mod for RE4
Alright.
Remake where you get to get the knife mechanics of what's his name in Mercenaries, but in the base game?
no, oh, I mean, I know there are like overhaul mods that add like a whole melee system to the game, but I don't know. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Nier, for your 2 weeks. What about you, Toast? How have your past couple of weeks been?
I don't know what happened in 2 weeks.
That is up for you to decide, because you're the one who has experienced it.
Wait, what? Oh, okay. Uh, Crony birthday? Is it birthday? Birthday. Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
good.
I like that outfit. It's prime
And then,
what are
oh
the
yeah, you
outfit.
spent like half a grand buying all of like the different
Was
goods
it
or
half a
whatever,
grand?
right?
No, it was like only like 300, 300.
Only.
I mean, do I have to scroll up?
Wasn't it like 250 or something? 250 plus for like the good set, and then like another couple of hundred for the LP or whatever it was.
It's only 100. Or
Okay.
roll 100, 200. It's not a big deal. 113. Yeah, that's about right. 113. 217. Yeah, it's only about $300, 350, whatever. Not a big deal.
Bro.
When they
Okay.
come in. Yeah,
Anything else?
Iris has a Japan concert coming up. The Ariake Arena.
Okay.
That's cool. Solo. Good for her.
Nice.
Oh no. Oh yeah, Near, you gonna watch Pat Labor?
Oh, yeah.
I
Bro,
probably will, yeah.
I can't
I
believe
probably
that
will.
shit. I still can't believe that shit.
Did you?
I mean, it is the monkey's paw, right?
How did we go
Oh,
from Suisei in Gundam to Mori Calliope and Pat Labor?
probably nepotism, if I had to guess, but
To be fair, Near, I will say
The thing
from
is, it's like I
the
understand
snippets,
why they're.
the snippets of the song is not more Calliope style, so it might
Listen,
be
all I'm
passable.
saying with current events, like, you know, the Japanese really gotta get their shit together. Too, okay?
But yeah, Near, it might be a passable song if it's not more Calliope style.
Yeah, I will
The fact
say
that
I
you have to be like,
understand
look, man, it might be a passable song, as like just
if it's not
like
sung by the person who's singing it.
like all
You
right.
should have sang it, so you say just saying.
Yeah.
Give her another one.
I will just say I understand like why they're using more Calliope more and more is because she's obviously drawing in numbers, right? And then she's like,
She makes money, and
she's drawing in all the eyeballs.
she has the contracts too.
Yeah, but it's like that doesn't mean I have to like it. I'll just say that up front.
Don't worry,
Nier
Spider.
has to like it. That's
Spider, you
I'm leaving that to him. But
Spider, you like vending machines? You like vending machines season 3?
oh yeah, I saw Vending Machine season 3 announcement. Yeah, I saw that
Hey,
one.
you know who's singing it?
Who?
That's right, Jay. It's Fuamoko. Yeah.
Really?
Oh, okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Good for them.
That's not bad. I thought you'd be like, that's also more Calliope, and I'll be
Also,
like,
Mori.
do I have to agree to this? But yeah,
What else?
I think it's okay. Anything else?
One Piece, not live action, pretty good.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I was
No, it's
talking to Mir
actually pretty
about
good.
that, bro. I will not be gaslit anymore. It's not. I'm
There's
not
small
allowed.
changes that make sense in like a retrospect, and like with what 20 years of One Piece, they hint a lot at feature stuff a lot more easily now. So like hindsight is 2020. So like they say this one thing like they
Yeah, I'm
mentioned
not
it
talking
earlier.
about. I'm not talking about story.
No, the story. Yeah, the story is interesting. It's a different take, but yeah, it's not bad. I mean, Chopper's kind of weird, but I like the casting, and everyone kept their wacky ass costumes, artistic integrity. It's pretty good.
How
But
come Zoro is only fighting black people?
No, he fought white people in a Whiskey Peak with was it the millions or the billions?
Doesn't
Wow,
he
Zoro
only?
versus 100.
Isn't that a thing in like base One Piece though too?
I have no fucking clue.
Where it's like
He
Zoro
fights
accused
main
Zoro
characters.
accused
I've
trying
seen all I saw is
minorities.
posts of like a big lineup of everybody he's fought so far, and it's just all like, people
Well,
of
the
color.
first Baroque works member he killed was a black guy. Just saying. Was it Mr.
Wow.
Seven? Oh, I don't know. But
It'd
yeah,
be
they're
racist if
introducing
he didn't
weird
fight
one-off
them.
characters that never appeared before that now appear in the live action. I'm like, hey, it's that one character that they was only mentioned in text, but now he's a real character now, so that's cool.
Wow.
So yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
pretty.
I
It's
feel like
pretty
I'd be
good.
able to appreciate that series more if like the crux of One Piece wasn't Luffy stretching.
Don't
Because
worry,
I've seen those shots and it does not
they don't have
does
enough
not
budget for
look
Luffy
great.
stretching all the time, so you can tell they save it a lot of it. He only stretches when they can afford it. But yeah, it's pretty good. Out of like out of the all anime adaptations into live action, this is probably the best one by a long shot, and that's saying something because Oda does have like he is dipping his fingers into this. He gets some creative liberties. Oh yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
Anything
Yeah,
else?
I'm 40 pulls away from Kita-san Black. I have to do the pity.
From Kita-san Black? Are you talking
Yeah,
about?
I'm at 160 pulls, my guy. I have to get to 200
mean
for pity.
you mean Narita Top Road?
No, Kita-san Black.
Are you talking about like Japan server or something?
What is she? What is she not? Is she not the banner Uma anymore? Are you lying to me? Let me. Do I have to boot up the game?
I think you might be behind a little bit, but
Did it change? Did I miss out?
Wasn't Kita-san Black like one of the first banner
I
characters?
got the NTRs. The card. Did they change the banner? Let me see. Are you on the Japan
no.
server?
Are you? Well, are you?
No,
No,
Kita-san
I'm
Black's right
talking.
here. What are you talking about?
No.
This
Okay.
guy does not pull. I have to screenshot this. Get out of here,
You like missing a
Majo.
Oh,
double
you're talking about
banner?
the Uma. I keep thinking
Bro,
about
what are
you're talking
you?
about support you. Because I
Support
already
What are
pulled
you
for
unit.
her. I
talking
was
Who
about?
like,
rolls for
yeah, I
Literally
support
already
talking about
pulled for
unit?
Venus
her.
on Black.
Yeah,
Do
I
I have
already
to
pulled
post it?
for
I
her.
have to post it.
Yeah,
I didn't get
because
it from the freeze at all.
yeah, got her in 120 pulls, so I'm done.
Good for
I'm
you.
out.
Guess what? I didn't.
Yeah.
I have to put
You
it.
have to spark. That sucks.
That's fine. I've prepared for it. There you go.
Okay,
See this
okay.
cool photo? I did get a
Yeah.
NTR, so
Okay.
Scout.
Uh, okay.
I
So
don't know. That's what.
overall, pretty peaceful. 2 weeks, Toast. Thank you very much. What about you, Dark?
Doc, tell
Give
us
me a
about
sec.
this. What is
Is the
this?
stream up?
It is on Twitch side. Let me see.
Fine?
Yep.
Because I'm seeing drop frames.
You should be fine.
Really? Are you sure? Seeing a lot of
Pretty
drop
good.
frames.
Yeah, there's no split stream or anything like that.
Okay. Yeah. My 2 weeks. My
Oh
2
yeah,
weeks doing
Dark.
okay. I've
Dark,
been.
tell us about the jewelry robbery.
I don't know what you're
There's
talking
been a
about.
$41,000 jewelry robbery.
You didn't see the fucking 30-man fucking robbery?
No, this one. There's a 3-man job. 3-woman job.
Right, so
Damn, that's crazy. That's also not a lot of money. What the fuck?
anyways, go over 2 weeks, please.
But yeah, so my weeks were, I don't remember if I even mentioned it last time. I watched the second Avatar movie. It was then I rewatched the first Avatar movie. That movie holds up and was good. And then what is it? Gaming wise, just kind of did. Also been doing Monster Hunter with Nier. Been playing World of Warcraft. New expansion's fun. New raid came out. Cleared that on normal with my guild. Started heroic. Learn a new class. Going beast mode in that. Doing some cool housing stuff in WoW. So that's been fun.
Okay.
Finished it for now. Till I get like more stuff I can put in there. But yeah, other than that, been doing gacha shit. Got the second Angel of Delusion in Zenless. Got her weapon. Probably gonna have to swipe for the third now because I burned through like everything and there's no way I'm getting that lucky again. But yeah, and then other than that, kind of just been keeping up with other gacha shit. Been keeping up with anime wise. Been keeping up with The Invisible Man and His Soon-to-Be Wife, and that has been fantastic.
Yeah. You
I'll
showed
probably
me that
mention a
one
little bit
episode,
more
and that was
later.
like,
Yeah,
yeah.
episode 11 has been crazy. I'll probably mention it more later, but like I really do think that that series might wind up being like a 9 to a 10 for me at this point. Just because of how consistent it's been and how much like fun they've been having with some of the episodes. So I think that's been really, really good and a massive, massive shock to me.
Yeah. And it's in a pretty stable kind of, I want to say, like shell in terms of like a story. And it's not just like, it's not something where it's not one of those stories where you're like, okay, well, when is this premise going to get resolved, kind of thing. It's like it has like a good, like stable kind of backbone. So
Yeah, it's really stable. It's like the character interactions are really fun. The world is really good. The world building is really good. And now it's like from the beginning, it's like the amount of like freedom that the animators and like the director has had has been kind of insane. Because even in that most recent episode, I think the directing of like the like sound direction and everything in a lot of those scenes were really, really good too. And it's just such a shocking series to see that from, and also very shocking that it's from Project Number 9. Not that they do like terrible work or anything, but like this is like this is hands down the best
Definitely,
looking thing they put
it's
out.
definitely
Like
levels
this
above.
is easily.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's been awesome. And then other than that, obviously tonight I'm covering something new, and I kept up with that. I actually binged the series that I'm covering tonight because this is another bit of a surprise. And then yeah, I think other than that, oh yeah, I also did pick up the Avatar game because it was $19 on Steam, and I'm in a very blue time of my life.
Nice.
Yeah, that's been fun.
Need
You
a
know,
little bit of
people
pick
shit
me up,
on
yeah.
people shit on Ubisoft games, but honestly, like I still think Ubisoft games get more black than they deserve. I think there's a lot of really fun Ubisoft games out there. They're not, you know, they're never the best, the most amazing games ever, but I think they do a lot of cool stuff and they have a lot of cool worlds.
Well, thank you very much, Dark. For my 2 weeks, again, most of it's just been getting small stuff in terms of like game and anime and there, but mostly running around real life, hacking up stuff. I've sold most of my a lot of like bigger stuff I have in my house. I just need to, I'm running around doing, you know, I think I did taxes this last week. Visa stuff, all the fun of running around and trying to move out and move away from my old abode. But so that's been a little bit of a hustle and bustle. But other than that, mainly keeping up with Ikokuniki, again, Journal with Witch or whatever, however it's been localized. But other than that, it's been pretty quiet. Me and my horse girls, and that's about it for my 2 weeks, to be honest. And obviously, I watched a little bit of one of those series I was a little bit hyped up at the beginning of this season, and I'm gonna be covering that, again this episode. All right, and with that, I guess we're gonna just turn to our first review, which is Toast. What do you have for us?
Speaking of $41,000 robbery,
Oh yeah, how else? How are you putting food on the table?
yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know.
So your series is?
Did you know the first day of spring, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. For the first day of spring in the northern hemisphere is Friday, March 20 at 10:46 a.m. Yeah. What's the opposite of spring?
Fall. It's not winter. If you thought it was winter, it's not winter.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
winter.
Yeah, and you know what happens in autumn?
What?
The leaves
Rains.
die.
Yeah,
Leaves fall off of
exactly. See,
trees.
dog gets it.
Okay.
Autumn is a season of grief and death.
I
Yeah.
That's
guess.
usually
I mean,
winter, right?
Halloween.
Yeah.
That's usually winter.
Yeah, and did you know? Did you know on Saturday today is also Samhain? Is it how do you pronounce it? Samhain? It's Celtic, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Samhain in Mabinogi right now. Yeah,
All right, what's your series, Toast?
I'm getting there, man. Leave me alone.
Are you?
And did you know in Mabinogi we have these Samhain events, and it's all about ghosts and dead people and whatnot. Yeah. Speaking of ghosts and dead people, you like money?
Do.
What the fuck? Is this gonna go into the Day of the Dead kind of the reference here? What's happening?
Huh? Yeah. No. You like money? Who doesn't like money?
I guess we're good with money.
Would you play a game of death on the death day of Saturday for money?
Probably not.
Okay, then you're out. How about you, Near?
What?
Would you play a death game on Saturday on the day of death for money?
Probably not. To be To be
Oh, you're on
completely
to. What about
honest
you,
with you.
Dark?
Nah, I've seen Squid Game. I know how that ends.
Well,
Yeah.
I would.
I do kind of like being alive,
and
so
death games. I love Battle Royale. What's my series called again? Yeah, that's as good enough as you'll get it.
So, what's your series, Toast?
Oh, it is my series.
Yeah, Shiboyugi.
Fushigi Yugi. I love Fushigi Yugi.
All right. Well, Toast's series is Shiboyugi playing death games to put food on the table. Do you know which studio is from?
Studio D.
Oh God.
Yippee.
Well, Steam has definitely improved a lot
Oh
since
yeah, name one
the.
improvement.
What do you mean? Name
Name
one
one thing
improvement. What
that's
the
improved
fuck are you
about
talking about?
Dean, bro. One
Yeah.
single thing.
One single thing. But yeah,
Ninja versus
it's definitely
what is
been a
this?
little bit better since obviously since their infamous Face Stay Night days, right?
Hey man,
But
looking back, it's great. But yeah, name one good Studio Dean thing that recent. You can't say what is it, Orphan? You can't say Orphan or Remonster. I won't let you.
did
Precure.
they do? They did Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju, right?
What the heck is
I
that?
think.
Was it them?
Speak in
Yeah, I think it
English.
was, right?
They did at least season 2 of it. I don't know whether that still
Yeah.
held up. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, they've had
there's.
okay series in the last like 10 years or so, I think.
I will say though that Studio Dean is out of the pic. If you told me this was a Studio Dean anime, I would, and I wouldn't believe you at all. And that's a very good positive note. But yeah. So okay, I guess I'll start. So it's about this girl named Yuki, only named Yuki, and she loves death games. And
What do you
she
mean
does
by
it.
that?
She loves
What, is,
death games.
what
She
does that
How does
mean?
she love them?
Is she like an
Like,
assassin? Is she like
she participates in all the death games because it
what?
puts food
what
on
the
the
fuck?
table. Like, I mean, basically, it's her job. She's like, I love death games and whatnot and whatnot.
So
Yeah,
what is she, like a spy? What is she?
no, she just
Is this
loves
just
death
this is just like
games.
a world? This is just a world that has
She's
multiple
Her,
death games.
she's like a professional death game doer. Like, is that an actual thing?
I guess, yeah, because in here, death games is like a job. But her,
Okay,
yeah, her
okay, okay,
goal is
okay.
she wants to complete 99 death games. I don't know why
What the
99.
fuck?
It's a really weird number, and I think it's a negative thing. But yeah, she loves death games. Did you guys? So before the podcast started, I asked you guys to watch episode 1. Did you watch episode 1? No. Okay, good.
Yeah, I
No.
skimmed through episode 1. It was kind of
Get
like
through this
Aquaman a
guy.
riddle. Yeah.
This guy. All right, but yeah. So I basically most of what I'm gonna talk about is about episode 1 because yeah, I'll just pretty much summarize episode 1. So episode 1 starts. Yeah, and then there's Yuki, and then a bunch of other chicks. They're all color coded.
Yeah, again, it's
I
like
forgot their
Aquaman a
names.
riddle. Sort kind of like that. But they're all like in maid uniforms.
Okay, so it's for episode 1, it starts off as Yuki's 28th death game, right? Yeah. So
Hmm.
and then there's a bunch of characters. So she wakes up and then she meets the other cast. Benia, she's the redhead chick. Momono, this the pink hair chick. I gave you that picture right, Dark. This is the cast I'll be talking about.
Yeah.
And then Kokuto, she's the black haired chick. Aoi, the blue haired chick, and then Kinko, the you want to call her golden hair? Is it Keen, the yellow haired chick?
Blonde? Blonde?
No,
Oh, okay, Kinko.
Yeah, Keen, I guess. Yeah, sure.
I
but yeah.
mean,
That's true.
it is pretty yellow.
So yeah, there's the cast, and then Yuki's like, "Damn, do you guys know what you're up to?" And they're like, some of them are like, "Oh, I'm here as a repeater because I love money, and death games make money." And then another one goes, "Oh, I'm here to pay my debt, my dad's debt." And another one's like, "Oh, I got kidnapped and I got roped into this by mistake." And so they're all
Okay.
it's all there, the various reasons why they're all joining a death game and whatnot. So they all have their own reasons for joining the death game, whether they was willingly or not. Then Yuki's like, all right, since this is my 28th death game, here are the rules. It's probably like a bunch of people are probably gonna die. That's the sacrifice I'm willing to make. 70% of you
He
might
gives them.
die
She gives them like advice, like kind of
at
like
pep
general,
talk. At pep
like how
talk.
it kind of
And
pans.
and then she's all like, all right, I will do any. I like people who survive, so I will help anyone. I'll try to make I'll try to help everyone survive. But the moment you guys are not useful to me, I'll kill you myself and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then they do various death game. So it's called Ghost House. So they're all
Yeah.
dressed a specific way and whatnot. And then they're exploring the house. I will mention that like the way they do the passage of time in this series is pretty unique. So it's like at the beginning, it's like either 0 out of 33 or 1 out of 33. And as like scenes progress, they keep going up in number until the final scene, which is like 33 out of 33. So what do you call that? Like a slideshow or like VN style thing where you can see the amount of slides before the game ends. That's the way they
Yeah,
do like
it's like a countdown. They actually do call it like countdown, I think.
yeah,
Like,
they
yeah.
do it in like a time progression thing. I think that's pretty unique. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, stuff
Yeah.
happens
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, we got to get out." Like stuff happens and Yuki's pretty experienced, so she leads everyone on how to do the thing. I don't want to spoil the first episode too much because hot take. I think this first episode is one of the strongest like first episodes of any anime I've ever seen in a long time. It's like perfectly condensed. It, it's like a perfectly condensed slice of what this series is going to be like. If you told me this was just like an O and A or like an OVA for just this series alone, I would have believed you because I don't know. Like I said, this is like perfectly condensed start to end of what one death game in this series is like, and it's
Mm-hmm.
really good. The thing. So yeah, stuff happens. Whatever. Some people die. Um, I will say though that the way they handle gore in this series is pretty unique. Spire, did you
It's
get to that
mainly
part?
cutaways, right? Because it's like
No, kinda. No.
it kind of is because it's like well, they
So
show some parts of it, but it's
the
like the
thing,
main part they don't show. It's like
the thing is, I
uh,
don't know. Maybe because like these death games are they're broadcast throughout like throughout Japan or the whole world, I guess, and so there are people betting. And
mhm.
since everyone watches it, they want to make sure everyone is able to watch it. So the gore in this series, for some reason, is it's kind of like the Danganronpa style, where
I was gonna say, is it
blood is
pink?
not red, it's pink. No, they do it in a different way. Um,
Yeah.
so when there's like grievous injuries or blood flying about, it turns into cotton and like
Huh.
in a way. So they call it what is it called? They call it a preservation treatment. I don't know. You can just hand wave it. It's basically their blood is modified so it like turns into cotton when it makes contact with air.
Yeah,
So it's
it's
kind of
like
weird in a way. Like
it's kind of like how Chinese games have like blood censored or stuff like that. So it's like it
Oh, wait, so
looks like, for
you're
instance,
saying
white or
though that
whatever.
this is like a physical like thing, like in the show itself? Like
yeah,
it
they
basically like
mentioned that it's
seals the wound effectively?
it's called preservation treatment. So like if a character gets injured in a way, there's no blood. It just like turns into cotton. Like there's this one character that tries to like that stabs her neck, and like you see it instant. There's like a little like it's a little red, but then it turns immediately turns into cotton. It's kind of weird in a way. I guess this is how they censor it in quotes, so that everyone can watch it. But like in a weird kind of way, it's a bit more. What is it?
Horrific,
Macabre.
like
It's a
horror.
bit more cob in a way because it
Yeah.
makes like it makes the players seem like they're not really human at all, but they're like more like, I guess you can call them like dolls, because it's like
They're
their
stuck. They're
stuffings
stuck
coming
in
out.
that sort of like game. Yeah, playthings in a
Yeah.
game.
I will say though that this for overall it's a positive for the players, because I will say like there's a lot of limbs and other stuff being cut off, and like
Yeah,
instead
it's
of
like there's like that one saw scene or whatever in episode 1, right? So it's like
so instead of
essentially.
like people bleeding out, since their wounds automatically turn to cotton in a way, they're able to survive like grievous wounds that most people won't like survive otherwise by bleeding out. So they're still
Mhm.
able to participate in the game. It's kind of weird like that. But like I said, in a way, it's kind of macabre. It makes them not really seem human and
Yeah.
whatnot.
And
But
they
yeah,
still undergo like the mental trauma as well, so it's like
it still hurts, but like
I was gonna say, can they
it's
even
their blood that
can they
turns.
like reattach their limbs though? Because like if they can't do that, then
Who
they're still a
knows?
bit shit out of luck.
I will say though, like some stuff happens, and some characters they're shown to have like limbs later on. So they're either reattached, or maybe they get cool. You know what? I'll just say it. One of them gets cool augments, so they can keep playing. They get cool robot arms or a doll arm, in a way. But yeah. So overall, it's Yuki plays a game. The one in the first episode is the 28th game. I guess it's her most recent game. And then the next couple episodes, I think from 2 to 4 or 5, they show the 10th game. So, but the
oh,
reason
it's
for showing the
working back
10th
up
game,
into like the present. Is that what's
the
happening?
reason for showing the 10th game is to like I guess highlight some characters that will appear later on, because like I said, you can make a living off of these death games. So
Hmm.
then after that, it shows the immediate game. They skip one game, I guess. Like the Ghost House in episode 1 is 28th, and then there's 29, and then I guess for the rest of the series that I've watched, it's the main ones like the 30th death game. Death game. What is it called? Golden Bath. Whatever. Yeah. So yeah, it's about about a character. She plays death games for money, and people die. But you know what? Who cares? Money. Yeah.
But most of like the series is just mainly about like the death games and stories that happened before, and then how like
Now the 10th, like
Yuki
I
and the
said,
others developed, or what?
the 10th one, it was just to show off a major character that's going to appear later on. So like,
Hmm.
and then episode was 28, and then the rest of the series is like the 30th death game. They mentioned that the 30th death game is where there's like what they call it, the wall of 30, where a lot of experienced players s- start to get fatigued or whatnot. So they're hoping that
Oh, okay.
like, oh, you've played 30 death games. How's your mental power? Like, oh, it's starting to wane because I'm fatigued from all these games. So I guess that's
Right.
why they highlighted the 30th.
Mhm.
Oh, that's all. That's about the main crux of the story that I'll mention so far. But overall, actually, I will say that this series pretty good, pretty good.
So
I
is the
expect
is the focus of the series on the games, or is it like each of the girls like introspections, or like what, like, or Yuki's introspection, or what?
so in each game, I guess there's you can call them a rotating cast, because some characters die, some survive, some might appear later on, but Yuki's
Hmm.
the main constant because she's the main character. And the way they handle these games is that the pacing is molasses slow. Like I mentioned that yeah, I mentioned that there's only been three death games that I've been up to so far. Like the first episode from start to finish, that's one death game, and it was paced really well. Then the second episode
Hmm.
is 2 to 5, that's another death game that's slow. And then like this third death game, it's like 4 to 5 episodes long. I don't even remember.
How many episodes is this entire
This is
series? It's 12, right?
Is it 12 or 11?
Yeah, if it's 12, so it's only gonna have like 3 main death. It's gonna have a second season, I'm assuming,
I
right?
hope
At
it's the
that
second
point.
season because this is.
Okay.
But
I
yeah,
was about to say like,
so the main focus of the series is not really about the death games. Is really, it's a lot more about. They say it's it's a lot more. It's a lot more deep and mind. What is it? Tickles your mind about life and death and all that and whatnot. So like the
is
games are
it
pretty the
is there
games
a
are
lot
pretty
of
basic.
exploration in there? Like, oh, like why are we in these games, or like
So
what am I doing it, or is
so
it
the
like a
death
Truman
games
Show kind of thing,
themselves,
or what?
death games
Hmm.
themselves is not very. Uh, they're not very described in detail. Like
Hmm.
the first one, if you watch the first one, Ghost House, a lot of the stuff is skipped. Like, oh, here's a death trap, and here's another death trap, and this thing happens, and a lot of the focus on the episode on the anime is a lot more about the characters and their and like how Yuki and the others deal with like this situation. It's a lot more
Hmm.
introspective, like focused on the characters and their personalities and why they're participating in this death game. You know, because it's a lot more
Yeah, I like
character
their
driven.
background expositions. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of it's on Yuki and why is she participating in this death game, or, like these death games, and like, why is she doing this?
Hmm.
It's it's very VN styled, where a lot of the monologue is from the inside of Yuki's mind, and like why is she doing this, and how is she interacting with these other characters and whatnot.
Hmm.
And so the death game isn't really the focus; it's more of an introspective on Yuki and the nature of a death game and the theme of this death game and whatnot. So yeah, this is not what I expected because I just want cool death games, but the death games in this one are
Just
really
wanted the battle
slow.
royale.
I will say though that contrary to popular belief, or my contrary to my old opinions, where oh I prefer battle royales compared to survival games and
Hmm.
whatnot. Like I just want characters fighting. And this one, it's the opposite. I prefer them to have like a survival game. It's like how will these characters handle this situation
Hmm.
and whatnot compared to like just fighting, because this series isn't just about fighting. It's more of like it's more a thinking man's genre, you know?
How much sort of, you know how it's like a lot of these a constant running thing, shtick with the battle royale is like, I'm gonna betray the other guy, and then he's gonna betray the next guy, and then blah blah blah, right? How much of that sort of like betrayal intrigue kind of thing is emphasized in this story?
So for most of the battle royales, I mean, I'll just start off with like the main battle royale, I guess.
Hmm.
What's the name of the dude in battle royale? Or what is it? Alice in Wonderland? What's it called? What's the what's the other one? Alice in Borderland, I guess.
Oh, Alice in Borderland.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
okay, okay.
Alice in Borderland. You know how the main character is his name is Arisu or whatever, and he's like this
Yeah.
guy who has a strong sense of justice and whatnot. He's like, oh, or he's pretty naive, and he's like, oh, we must work together in order to survive the games. And when something bad happens, they can't take it all that well. Like the basic main protagonist of a death game and whatnot.
Hmm.
They have this like heroic nature. Yuki's not like that at all. She does say that, oh, I want to help people survive and whatnot because it benefits me. It makes me look good for the viewers.
Hmm.
But she does mention immediately that like if you do something that's detrimental to me, I will cut you down like
Hmm.
immediately, and I will just dispose of you and whatnot. So
Does she
she's
show any
pretty.
sort of forms of affection or anything like that throughout the episodes, like any growing forms of affection?
Like when characters get like brutally maimed and
Mhm.
still survive through the preservation treatment, she's the one who's like, all right, I'll strap you on my back. You got no legs, then Lieutenant Dan, don't worry, I'll carry you. She's the one who, she'll carry people and she'll give them a pep talk like, hey, you gotta live, that kind of
Mhm.
thing. Because, like she said, it looks good for her, and the more people survive, the more beneficial it is in general for everyone else.
Oh, right,
But
because it's a survival thing, not a battle royale.
yeah, like that's why I said, like I prefer the survival stuff over the
Mhm.
battle royale stuff. Because every man for themselves, not that interesting. It's like, oh, it's a lot more interesting when more people survive. These saw death traps, so they can work together to solve stuff.
Mhm.
But like I said, like I mentioned earlier, like it's the moment she sees someone like in her way or is like trying to be a detriment to everyone, she's like, screw this, I'm out. And then, she's pretty pragmatic like that.
There's a
I'm
little
like,
bit more of like she's not like looking over necessarily, but like she's obviously participating in the death game, but the anime is also from the perspective of like she's kind of chronicling like how these death games are panning out and how these different kids are like these different like participants in the death game are reacting, right?
what was that? I dropped my phone.
Uh,
Hmm?
so she's obviously participating in the death game, but she's also like this anime is from her perspective of like she's kind of almost chronicling how these different death games are and like how these different participants react as well,
Yeah,
right?
because we
Hmm.
got the varied cast. So like, oh, I'm too scared. Like, oh, I don't want to die. I'm too scared. And like, oh, I will betray you in order to survive. And we get the whole cast of those characters and all of those. But yeah, but she's like season 2 Squid Game guy compared to everyone else. Like she knows what's up and she's trying to help people,
Yeah,
but if they're in their
I've
way, she's like,
played this game
whatever,
before.
man, get out of my
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Like in one of the episodes where they're all grouped together and this one character like, oh, I'll be the leader. I don't believe that you played 10 games. And she's like, hey, I'll give you advice. Like, we shouldn't go this way. And then something bad happens, and she's like, whatever, man, get out of my, like, whatever, I'm out of here. And she leaves the
Yeah.
party.
Okay.
So yeah, I like her as a character because she's very pragmatic. She's a bit of a psychopath, but she does think that helping people to saving them is for the greater good. But the
In a
moment
sense, she's
you
kind of
show
like this
weakness,
is this the way the story is set up is kind of like it's like the girl doing like the traveling like from place to place, right? Or the protagonist doing like the journey from place to place, like Majo no Tabi Tabi or Kin Tabi or whatever. But instead of doing the journey and like seeing these different people, right? She's seeing different groups of people in the death games, right? She goes to one death game, she plays it, she sees the group of people. She goes to another kind of group, death game, and so on. That's sort of it's like a variant of that, I think.
yeah. But yeah, yeah, or whatever. So I guess I'll go over the cast.
Mhm.
I'll only go over the cast of the first episode because, like I said, there's a death game. So you got a
Yeah, there's a lot
rotating
of
group,
people.
I guess. So the main character Yuki is voiced by Chiyuki Miura. Who's this? I don't know. Who are you? What have you done? She's Onion in Pokemon. Who's Onion?
Oh,
The
she
the
no, okay. No, I mean,
the
yeah,
ghost
she's like this
the
is
ghost dude from Sword and Shield. Onion. What else? I don't see many
yeah,
interesting
she has like one or two roles in uh oh, what is God, I'm so bad with Blue
Judo. I didn't
Archive.
watch the Judo one. I don't play Blue Archive. I only
Oh,
know
she
Saori.
so yeah. She does like one of the girls in Blue Archive. I guess that's
Okay,
like
yeah.
one of her
A
probably main
lady at
roles.
the fruit and vegetable store in what is this? In Gushing Over Magical Girls. Wow, cool role.
Yeah.
Okay,
But yeah, it's probably most the
I
Blue
guess.
Archive that was her breakout role.
whatever. Kinko's voiced by Inori Minase.
Hmm.
Yeah, who's that?
Most of these other
That's Rem,
characters
right?
are pretty much like big, relatively veteran voice actresses.
That's Rem,
Takatatsu
right?
Aina,
From
Sato Haruka, so on.
yeah, Reina Motomura is Aoi, the blue one. Kokuto is Haruka Sato. Who
Mhm.
else? Yeah, Rina Kawaguchi is Momono. And who's Benny? Benny is Mutsumi tomorrow. Because like I said, I'm only naming first episode characters because that's cool. Yeah,
Mhm.
rotating cast. But I
Yeah.
guess let's get to the meat and bones of this. What I wanted to talk about. So I mentioned earlier that this was a Studio Dean anime,
Mhm.
but it does not look like a normal Studio Dean anime.
Oh
It's
yeah, the visuals look pretty wild.
I
It's
yeah, I posted some screenshots like earlier. I was like, "Oh, that is what the main. That is like the main crux of how this series looks."
Mm,
So you get the close up of the characters' main faces, like when they're speaking and when they're in the center of the role. But once there's multiple characters, and they're all conversing with each other. It
mhm.
can They get these. I don't know. I'm not an art major. How do they call this? Like Dark, you can pull up the first picture that I posted if you want. What do you call this art style? It's like lineless art style in a way. It's pretty unique where all the characters like lose their heavy lines that show them, and they're just these. What is it? Minimalistic shapes? What do you want to call it? I don't know. What do you guys call
Cutouts.
it? Yeah, they're
Yeah.
cutouts, and they're cutouts. Like their face. They don't have eyes, and it's just their figures. And it's pretty cool. It's a pretty unique way to put it in a way.
Mm.
Like, Doc, did you put out the picture?
I can
Yeah,
try.
yeah. It's a pretty cool way to do the series. And then, like for some other ways, like when there's a scene change or when there's an action, like when they're eating, when Yuki's all like, oh, eating what it calls macarons, and someone's like, hey man, aren't those poisonous macarons? Because this is a death game. She's like, nah, nah. They're not that stupid. It's not that entertaining if you die from a poison macaron. It's just food, and then it shows them eating the macaron. It's like these screens. What is these? Like a what do you call
Like
these? What do you
they're
call these
almost like,
photos?
yeah. I
Kodak photos. What is it then?
No,
Where
oh,
you
like a
take a photo?
Polaroid? Yeah, like a couple
Yeah,
of
that's
Polaroid,
what
but they're not really. I
Polaroids
mean,
of.
they're more so. These are more so just like, what would you call these? Like almost like square like prints on top of a
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
canvas,
Paper
like type
Mario
thing.
almost. Like yeah,
Like,
like
yeah, and then when Yuki's eating a macaron and someone's like, "Hey, if she's eating it, I'll eat it," and then they steal it. That's another thing that I posted. Yeah, some of these abstract transitions are like that. I get my main vibe is it's very a Monogatari-esque vibe, like it's a Shaft-esque style of scene transitions,
mm.
and I'm like, this is not the way I expect this from a Dean anime. So I had to look it up. The director is someone called Sota Ueno. Very cool. And
Have they done anything else before?
this is their
It's like
second this is their second major series that they've done. Um, so
the other one
what was
is Days with My Stepsister. What the fuck? Okay.
did
Oh.
anyone cover that? I didn't cover that.
I think we saw it in the preview, but nobody covered it, I think. But they did also work on Fairy Gone, which was like okay at the beginning. And then let's see this. Yeah, Sasakito
Yeah,
Miyano,
I might
so
have to
on.
check out. Might have to check out Days with my girlfriend, Days with my stepsister,
Days with My
What's that?
Stepsister. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because this art style and the way they direct this series is way different from what I expected. It's not your typical anime, like oh, not. It's like there's a lot of negative space. A bunch of these scenes are just like Yuki walking, but she's like walking in complete darkness, and she has like the lineless art. She's walking through stuff. I mean, like I said, the best way I can really describe it with my limited knowledge is very Shaft/Monogatari-esque. Maybe Sayonara Zetsuba Sensei.
Yeah.
Right near.
And even like the standard like art style that's portrayed in the series is like quite interesting. It's quite different, I think, from
Yeah,
their
like
regular fare.
I looked it up. There's a bunch of tweets that saying like, "Oh, he's the best up and coming director," and I'm like, I mean, I'd have to agree. This is some really wild art direction they're going with this, and I'm like, hey man, damn dude, I did not expect from this at all. So yeah, like I have nothing but praises for like the director because it's pretty cool. Definitely not what I expected. I looked at some other stuff. Like people are saying that the way this director edited or directed this episode is way better than the source material. It's like, and I'm like, I guess the source material is just like basic isekai death game like light novel stuff, but the way they did it is really really cool. So yeah, like props to Soto Ueno. I don't know. I have limited knowledge in art direction. Whatever
Yeah,
near like
but definitely, even when I just saw the first episode, it was very like interesting. It was definitely again, I wouldn't necessarily be like, oh, clearly it's just like, Dean was crap before and now it's like suddenly, spring has come. But I think, yeah, it was definitely heads and tails above what I would expect from like a standard series. I don't know how much budget they had either, but it was quite
I
good.
don't know. It's hey man, it's Dean. What do you expect? And Dean and this is like a new director.
Yeah. Yeah, they pulled out the one of the outside directors, but yeah, I'm hoping he keeps going and does try some other stuff as well. So
And I guess another thing I have to mention that like there's I guess that's the art design. I'm done with that. It looks really cool. And then the sound design, it's very minimalesque. Very minimalesque.
hmm.
It's like I don't
There's just
remember
not much.
there's
Yeah,
no major songs. It's just all background noise of the characters walking and talking and then like
yeah.
very subtle pianos like here and there. You
Which also
know,
makes it a little bit more unnerving when it's like when the bad scenes are about to happen.
yeah, it's the way, like I said, though the way they do this is really well done. There's no like loud like music tracks or anything. It's very subtle, like piano and here and there. Is it what's the word?
Mm-hmm.
Ambiance? I want to call it ambiance. I'll call it ambiance. Yeah, it's like very ambiance-esque music, and you know what? That's really helps. You know,
It's a good tone setter.
really help. Yeah,
Oh, so you were
it's
looking
just
for the word
overall really good.
ambient. We're close though.
Yeah, ambient music. It's very good. Like even though the episodes are so slow, it's like when I watch these, it's pretty nerve-wracking, and that's like a huge positive in a way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're on the edge of your seat the whole time because it's like, oh, you don't know what's gonna happen next, and it's something always eerie about it. I don't know. What else do I want to talk about? I don't know. Yeah. Overall, these are some fantastic visuals that overall the series pretty cool. Pretty cool, pretty cool.
Yeah.
I recommend oh, what's my rating? Oh, opening ending. Like I mentioned, the opening's probably the one of the best opening this season by far. I'm not joking.
Okay.
Yeah. What's
All
wrong,
the
Near? You
cars.
disagree?
I think you're
All the
I,
crazy,
I,
cars.
but all
I
right.
do kind of disagree. I kind of disagree with you, but
Why, Near?
because there's
So
nothing
the
going on. There's literally nothing happening. There's like nothing to the visuals. The track is like pure instrumental, like piano. It's like it's like
The
it
cars.
is.
The cars,
Yeah, and
near.
it's a
yeah, Near.
vibe. It's a
Yeah,
vibe,
Near.
but it's like
The
for
opening
me, I need a
is
little bit something more than that from an opening.
Yeah.
the opening is called Ersterbend. It's German, I guess. it's performed in quotes by Lynn from Mad Kid, and I say it's the best opening ever because there's literally no lyrics in the opening. It's just
Huh.
vibes, man. Vibes and the cool highway. I mean, if you look it up, I posted a link to these guys. I showed them. Isn't it great? It's fantastic. And then the ending song is a regular ending song. It's a Inori by Chie Fujikawa.
Mhm.
Who are you? What have you done? Digimon? I don't know. Okay, Digimon. The end, the ending for the 2020 Digimon Adventure reboot. I will say though
Oh, okay, okay.
the opening is much better. Cool vibes, man. Cool vibrations. But yeah, overall the series, I thought it would be funny, haha, death games, because I picked it because it had a funny title, but I'm pleasantly surprised that there's some heart and soul put into this, man. For an
I mean, I'm glad,
adaptation of a
and even like the story aside, just like the visuals itself is definitely something I think that can be appreciated with this series at least.
yeah, that director, I'll keep an eye on you for now. Maybe want to check out the other series. What's it called? Stepsister? Yeah.
Uh, Days with My Stepsister or
Days
something
with
like
my
that, I
step.
think. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it also this season?
No, I believe it
Was
was
the
a couple
last
of
season?
seasons ago,
Oh
I
yeah.
think.
Well, it makes me want to go back and check what he's been up to with that series because
Oh yeah, for sure.
this is pretty good. So,
Yeah.
are they better than Akiki Shinbo and Makoto Shinkai? You know what? I will say yes. I think they're hacks. I think they're hacks, Near. What are you gonna do about it? Oh yeah. Enough glazing this series. Overall, I'm gonna give this actually a solid 9 out of 10. My
Yeah,
only
that's
gripe,
pretty good.
yeah, like my only real gripe is it's pretty nonsensical at the 90. Oh, I'm gonna beat 99 games and whatever. But
Yeah, I mean the initial
that,
kind of like skeleton of like the death games, you can only like stretch the credulity so far, but it seems like within that structure, again, it's like the whole
yeah,
kind of her doing Yuki doing the introspection and like going through and seeing these different groups of people. I think that structure itself is
yeah,
fine.
Yuki's one of the better protagonists you'd want in a death game
Hmm.
to watch because she's pretty pragmatic and whatnot. She's not
Hmm.
super heroic, but she will help people.
Hmm.
She is a good person because she will help people, but if you're in her way, she'll cut you down. But yeah, overall 9 out of 10. I will say basically, if you're interested in this, uh, the first, like I said, I've been praising this the whole time. The first episode is the whole kit and caboodle of what this series is like. It's it's literally the strongest episode of this entire series so far that I can point out. It's tight and compact. It doesn't drag on as long as it does compared to the other
Hmm.
episodes. That's a gripe because it's a long ass death game for the other ones. Short, concise. You could call this like an OVA of the entire series if you wanted, and I'd believe you. And yeah, I'll probably be putting this series in my anime of the year for sure. It's pretty good.
All right. Well, again, thank you very much, Toast, for helping to cover this.
Oh, apparently,
I
Days with My Stepsister was also Dean. I see it. I
okay,
sense a
okay. So it
connection
was
there.
Dean. Okay, interesting. Okay. Um, but yeah, thank you very much for helping to cover
I
Shiboyugi.
guess. Oh, sorry. I'm cheating through the net. I'm cheating through Wikipedia. I will mention that this series is all seriousness and whatnot.
Oh, what?
It's all seriousness. There's no funny ha-has here. We're taking this to the max. Where it's grim dark. It's
Oh, yeah,
macabre.
oh, yeah.
Real.
Mhm.
We're real death games here, my guy. Yeah. But
Okay.
yeah, 9 out of 10. I highly recommend this. Probably
Yeah.
the best thing I've watched this season, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah. And again, there are times
Not
where
that, not
sometimes.
that. I did watch a lot of slop this season, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
this is really good. This is really good.
Yeah, I mean, again, like there are definitely times where sometimes we in the podcast, we take the scores with a grain of salt. But I think with the Shiba Yugi review that you gave us here, I think definitely, at the beginning when we were talking about it in the preview, we were just like, eh. Death Case, like, all right, we're going through this again, kind of business. But I'm glad that it panned out like this.
Yeah, Nier.
Again, even if
Nier,
you're not necessarily,
I stole this from Nier, and I was like, damn, Nier, you should have watched this. This is right up your alley.
but yeah, even
To be
if
honest,
it's like,
I probably would not
yeah.
have been anywhere near as positive on this as you are. So
But yeah, even if you're not necessarily the biggest fan of, the theme or like the setup, obviously, this sort of the way that this has been animated, the way the visuals are I think something to be to maybe potentially take a look at this season. So yeah, this was Shiboyugi playing death games to put food on the table. Light novel original adapted by Studio Dean and under the directorship of Ueno Solta. If you like this sort of a setup, more of a somber kind of uh, I guess more introspective series, nevertheless, please do check this out. All right. Well, next up on the list here is Dark. What do you have for us?
Okay, I have Kaya-chan wa Kowakunai, or Kaya-chan Isn't Scary. This is a web manga original. This is being done by East Fish Studio. They are not a new studio. I mean, well, I guess they're newer. They're only 9 years old. But they haven't really done. I would imagine they've done more supporting things because they haven't done a ton. Their most notable recent series was Uruwashi no Yoi no Tsuki. Was it In the Clear Moonlight Dusk? Which was this last season? Oh no, this was actually this season too. Wow, okay, so they were doing double duty. That's interesting. So yeah, beyond that, they did what was it? The around 40-year-old like isekai one from I think prior season. Yeah, so they haven't done like
Yeah,
a ton. But
yeah, I love 40-year-olds.
yeah. But yeah, so this is a full series. This is a supernatural. It's like supernatural horror. There's some drama, there's some comedy, there's some slice of life stuff. But to get to the premise, it is about a kindergartner named Sato Kaya, and she is infamous for being a troublemaker. Our other main character is Hasumi Chie, which is her and she's been assigned to look after her. And soon enough, she discovers Kaya's hidden abilities. Wow, my anime list synopsis is not helpful at all. Anyway, this series surrounds basically Chie, the teacher, and Kaya, getting into sort of mishaps, and Chie learning more about Kaya and her family. Kaya is an extremely powerful psychic, and she encounters and defeats ghosts by just ripping them apart or beating them to death again, I guess you could say.
Like physically, like it's like how
Yes,
magical
yeah.
they have like I got to like magical girls just like duking duking it out and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, she pretty much just like punches them and they explode.
Okay.
Sometimes
Nice.
into basically blood. Yeah, and sometimes it's kind of insane, the depictions of it. Not gory or like super bloody in any way, shape, or form, but it's like kind of fucking crazy. Her picking up little baby ghosts and it cutting off screen while it's very clear that she's like splattering them against the wall.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, a little messed up at times. But yeah, so this like I said, that was the basic premise. A lot of the series you go through learning more and more about Kaya's family, her mother in particular, and her mother's side. And I won't get into spoilers because I think it's very cool and very interesting. This had the sort of setup of the show is there are maybe like sections to each episode, maybe like 3 for some of them, maybe 2. Kind of depends of dealing with different ghosts in different scenarios. Early on, for example, like there is a ghost, and it gets pretty like to steal from toes. It gets pretty macabre with like a lot of the
Hey,
ghosts. Like it does not. It does
there's
not
some
just
freaky
create
ghosts
like
in here.
oh
Yeah.
there's a lot, yeah, there's a lot. I mean they look really freaky, like you can see from the cover art too, like they do not shy away from making them creepy.
Like actual horror ghosts in here.
Yeah, this series is like it's weird, right? Because you have a mix of the sometimes like the cute slice of life moments, but then you have like the freaky horror ghosts showing up constantly. So there is that. You have yeah, and so yeah, like I said, like the ghosts, you'll have certain ones where one tries to drown like one of her classmates, and the narrator explains uh, the narrator like explains like this ghost is basically the thing that's responsible for the silent drownings of children, like the phenomena where children usually actually don't make a ton of noise when they drown, which is how like a lot of their drownings go unnoticed. Yeah, there is just a lot of yeah, there like I said, there's like there's like a miscarriage ghost at one point, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And they're not even ghosts. Like so it's established at one point that they can start out as ghosts,
They're
but
just
then like
monsters,
if they don't
right?
move on, they will twist into specters, which are yeah, just monsters.
Wow, that sounds just like Bleach.
Yeah. It starts to deal with in certain points too, like it starts to deal with like trauma in part. Um things like that. And yeah, all the way you're watching Satokaya. Um yeah, punch the heck out of them. Rip them apart. Strangle them a little bit. Uh
So is this like is the focus on so it's like is it like an episodic thing where they kind of go over the background of like the monster, like how the monster came to be, and then she just beats them up at the end, or is the focus on the battle, or what's sort of the focus?
No, so like it's interesting. It's like you'll literally have these like cut scenarios of just imagine like normal slice of life, like kindergarten happening thing, and then something weird will happen, or someone will say something really off, um, and then you'll realize, oh, it's a freaky ghost. And then Kaya
Uh,
will notice that it's a freaky ghost, and she'll usually save a classmate or something, or Chie or something from said freaky ghost. But during all of this, it is the sort of like through line of all of this is Kaya's family. And in the first episode, it's established, and I'm not going to get into what it really is and what's like going on with her mom. But the only ghost she hasn't been able to defeat is something that is possessing her mother.
okay.
And yeah, and the only people that can see it are her and like other people who can see ghosts, which not everyone can. Chie can in some scenarios, but can't always. Like if it's a ghost that can normally mask its presence or something, like Chie, the teacher doesn't see it. Most people don't see it.
No, so she's
I
not
will
as
say,
good. Yeah.
well, and by teacher I mean like it's her kindergarten teacher. Like
Mm-hmm.
like most people cannot see them at all. Um,
Okay.
there is like some possession stuff as well, like that does affect people, and like other classmates will see stuff. People will kind of get like the gist of what's happening when she saves them sometimes. and that's kind of how like she sort of builds up her reputation as not just being like a jerk. Because she gets the right, because like I said in the beginning, like the main crux is like she gets the reputation of being like sort of like selfish and like a jerk, like a brattier kid, because she'll try and like take things from people or tell them not to do things. And the entire reason of her doing that is because like it'll be like a book that's possessed by a ghost, and she's like, yeah, don't open that book.
Yeah.
And but you know, coming across to like other kids and the teachers, the kindergartner like caregivers, like that to them just makes it seem like she's just a brat.
hmm
The other things I would say, and again, there was something I mentioned in here earlier where they will just like, I don't want to spoil it because it's really weird, and it's a really interesting thing to do, and they just do. Let's put it this way: they do something with a character that you would have expected. It's not like a major character, that you would have expected them to do and resolve within like an episode or two, and it is not resolved, and it's still going. And you think it's resolved, and other characters I think it's resolved, and to episode 8,
Okay.
and this happens in like episode 4, and episode 8 not actually resolved. So it's really interesting, and it's not like a major plot point either, which is weird. But yeah, so that's kind of the main crux. And and again, throughout all of that, it's like the like Kaya's family drama stuff. You get introduced to the supporting cast. A lot of the supporting cast is really fun. You have Saku, who is like uh Genki, not tomboyish, but brasher character, voiced by Misaki Kuno. So that's always fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have her father, who's in a decent bit of it. You have, yeah, just like there's like a lot of other classmates, all obviously, you know, voice actors doing like kindergartner voices, which is because you know you have a pretty decently star-studded cast, right? Like Sato Kaya is being voiced by Tachibana Azusa. Like I said, with Saku's Kunomisa. You have like other Sagara for like other minor characters. But then you do have Chie being voiced by Mayochu, which is nice.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, you have the other two supporting characters, which are pretty major characters, and they're pretty fun. You have Ebisumori Namu, who is being voiced by Kajiyuki. Have
Mhm.
Osamu Malbu. You have Mob, who is the fat guy with glasses in the back, being voiced by Ochiai Fukushi, and he's doing a great job. That character is very, very fun. He's introduced as like supposed to be like a creeper type character. Or rather like you get the gist, like that's how they're trying to introduce him, but obviously there's like something more going on. And it was that, again, I will not do a story spoiler, but let's just say Kaya had helped him in the past and led him on a journey of being a what would you call it? Not a mystic, but in like the occult, like occultic, an occult journalist, is what he calls himself.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, because he
Like
can
he's
he can
reporting
see
what's happening.
yeah, he can see ghosts.
Okay.
He wants to learn how to do like exorcisms and whatnot, but also is reporting on like and looking into like Kaya and her family as a like you know line of mystic, whatever.
Okay, okay,
And
okay. I see.
yeah, that's kind of about it. That's kind of the gist of the entire series. It is much heavier on the horror than I had expected. It is much heavier on the freaky ghosts than I expected. The first episode kind of really has a, you know, it's like it's freaky, it's scary, but then it has, you know, it features Kaya like you know, sucker punching a ghost and then it exploding like this freaky ghost. So it sets you up to think like, oh, okay, this is gonna be like a very what would you call it? A very like One Punch Man-ish type deal or something, or
Yeah,
much
it's gonna
much
have that
heavier
like
on
the
like the
comedy.
comedy. Yeah, and it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
nah, nope, nope, nope. That does happen, but it is really heavy on horror and heavy on like some really freaky stuff.
Yeah, it's like
So,
it's like
so you're
on the
saying
spectrum of
it's
like how it
like
balanced that it's like Goblin Slayer almost.
I wouldn't say
Uh,
Goblin Slayer. Like, what's on the spectrum? Is it like Hell Teacher Nube or Miracle? Where are we going? Or
I would say it's closer to Mirko.
Miracle Hell. So like
Okay, I
Hell
see.
Teacher Nube, even Gegege no Kitaro. That's pretty horror sometimes too.
Yeah, that would work. Yeah, that would work as well. If you want to compare it to like an American TV show, you could say like maybe some of the earlier Supernatural and whatnot, or Supernatural in
Oh,
general, where
okay.
some stuff could be pretty freaky. Get down to some freaky stuff, but there's like a supporting
So you're saying
cast of
it's
like
like
slice of
go.
life type stuff.
They start
So
having
you're
gay
saying
sex.
it's like Ghost Adventures with Zach Bagans.
Sure. But yeah, overall, pretty
Yeah.
good, pretty good. Visually, audio visuals, they're fine. Some of the like some stuff is pretty whatever, pretty standard. You know, a lot of gradients in certain spots.
Well, the
Some of
most
the
important part is
cartoonier
like the
transitions are
battle
like
scenes, right?
whatever.
Like the beat
Well,
'em up scene.
there's not really like battles and stuff. It's more so again because it's more so like Kaya resolves it very quickly. But I will say that the
Oh, okay.
visuals for the freaky ghosts are very freaky. And when they want to
How
make them
strong? How
twist
strong
and
would you
turn
say
and
Kaya is?
stuff, Kaya is extremely strong. Like again, like
Can,
she
could
will one punch everything, like ever goes.
Are you saying she's strong enough to defeat the Dybbuk Bucks?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I
Because
mean,
remember Post Malone's
Post
bad luck
Malone,
was caused by the
Posty,
Dybbuk
yeah,
Bucks.
but Posty kind of overcame that. So I think like
Oh hell yeah,
I think she could beat it.
hell yeah.
Yeah, a lot of freaky stuff in there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I guess
it's a
going
lot of
back to
cool
the audio
juxtaposition.
visuals.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the ghosts are done very well. They're done very freakily. I would imagine they're like CG blended in certain ways for certain parts of them, but a lot of it is like blended very well. The
Who would win in a
color
ghost
transitions for
fight?
the ghost stuff are really nice.
Who would win in a ghost
The
fight? The Mirko or these ghosts? What do you think?
Wait, do you think who would win in a fight, like the ghosts or Mirko, or the
No,
ghosts
like
from Mirko?
yeah, like the
He's
ghost
comparing the
fight.
monsters. He's
Yeah,
comparing the monsters.
I think they're very similar. Like I think they're kind of
in power
on
level,
this.
because
Yeah,
that freaky what is it? Neko or Kitsune god.
yeah. I
Around
mean,
there.
I like Miracos maybe because I do feel like Miracos do get into like much more like spiritual
Could
stuff.
could Akaya defeat an earthbound deity kind of level spirit? That's what I'm asking. What's the
I
strongest
don't know if
thing
she's
she's defeated?
strongest thing she's defeated so far. There was like a freaky thing that was trying to like eat kids off the swing, and that was like a big gaping maw in the ground.
Hell
She
yeah,
punched it. It was like probably like I don't know, maybe like the 50 feet wide or something, or 30 feet
that's
wide.
pretty
She
strong.
punched it. Um, yeah, there's something again, like power level wise, there is some interesting stuff going on with the mother that I'm curious to see where that develops to. Um, but yeah, and then yeah, the ghost transition stuff that stuff's cool. The mob comedic scenes are pretty fun. With how they draw him and how they change between that. I guess I could say too that the dialogue from Chie is usually pretty snappy, especially playing off of mob.
You
Music,
want to
the
go for
music's
the
very interesting. The music for this is very interesting because it's a very like cinematic, like grandiose tracks in a lot of scenes, which I was not expecting.
What do you mean?
I don't really know. It's like very like
It's like does it have like a lot of like orchestral
yeah, it's like you'll get
instruments
like
going on?
bellowing like a really loud like crazy orchestra going on for like super dramatic
Okay.
like build up, like very like a very like dramatic like cinematic type like orchestration going on in some scenes for like characters having revelations, and I'm just like that's kind of crazy. Like that's kind of a crazy sound to hear. A series
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this.
yeah.
I guess I could say the OPED. The OP visuals are pretty standard, kind of like whatever. It's Maboroshi no Yuke by what is that Isekai Jocho, and then the ED is Play More feat. Chan and by Sak and Tao. And I would say like the OP track is fun enough. The visuals are okay. Like they have some pretty standard stuff. The ED visually is very disappointing because I really would have liked to
Oh,
see.
okay.
It's a lot of stills.
Mhm.
It's a lot of like I sent you earlier. It's a lot of stills, and that's like visually like very disappointing to me.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
I wanted to see something a little like stylistically doing something interesting for a series like this, and I think it would deserve it, right? Because I think the maybe not the OP quality is like pretty fine, but I think the ED quality, especially of this series, like kind of um betrays the series itself. How interesting.
Mhm. I see.
Um, the song is very good though. I think the song is very good and very interesting. Not exactly like not the most fitting. Well, I mean it is in a way because it's strange, and this is a strange show. But yeah, I would say overall, not too much else to say about it. I would say it's pretty darn good though. Definitely surprising. It's a very easy watch. It's a very interesting watch because of the amount
Yeah,
of stuff
and it's a little
that
bit
is
more
in
episodic
each
in
episode.
nature, so it's like you're not like
Yeah, because like
there's like a lot
the
of content, but it's
episodic,
not like super. Yeah.
the episodic and like the sort of like sliced up episodes for the different ghosts in each episode, like the multiple different like supernatural events in each episode does sort of like drag you along like through the grander story of each episode, the larger story that is more so of the family drama and mystery that's
Mhm.
in it. And so that kind of like really helps keeps you hooked because you're getting hooked by like both. You're like, you know, what's the next ghost? Or like, how is this ghost going to resolve? What freaky thing am I going to see now? Or, you know, what is going on with Kaya's background? What is
Mhm.
she? Say the least. So,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Okay.
Overall, I would say pretty good. I would definitely recommend people check this out. I would recommend checking this out if you want to see like a pretty unique take on a like slice of life horror mix drama series thing. Like kind of hard to describe. If you liked
Yeah. It's like it has that like episodic horror thing, but instead of being like trying to like solve it by, let's say by being a detective or whatever, it's just like it turns into a full on like One Punch Man, Symphogear, like, all right, I'm gonna just kill these freaking monsters vibes. Is
yeah. Um but yeah, I would yeah, like I said, I would highly recommend it. It's very I would recommend it if you liked crap. What is the other show Toast called again? I always forget the name of it.
Miracle?
Yeah,
Is
Mirko. And what they have a it has like a longer title, I believe, right? But it's yeah, very similar. And very enjoyable. I would say my mall score for this would probably be like a 7 to a 7.5. I don't think it's doing
okay.
anything
That's
like
pretty solid.
yeah, I mean, I think it does some stuff really well. I don't think like audio, like I don't think visually it's like doing anything too crazy, but I think story wise, I think visually like it's enough and the ghosts are freaky enough, especially. And I think story-wise, it's getting into some interesting stuff, and I think it is paced like very, very well. So that's why
this is
I would
12
definitely
episodes
recommend it.
or what?
Yeah, this is a 12 episoder.
This is
I would
12.
imagine by the time we get to 12, like I went through, like let's put it this way, like I binged 8 today. I thought I was only gonna watch like 3 episodes or so, and I blasted through 8 of them. I'm definitely gonna be watching the whole thing. I would imagine
Mhm.
this would probably ending with resolving maybe partially something with the mom, but probably leaving a grander mystery with the family itself.
Is the mom hot?
Mhm.
She's all right.
Okay.
What if
Right.
what if
Well,
the mom is a ghost?
yeah.
Exactly.
Anyways,
Exactly. Yeah, it's very interesting. I would say my closing remark too would be there are a lot of really cool. There's a lot of really cool,
what?
lot of
Sorry?
really cool like reactions that characters have to things. Like the way a lot of reactions are done, the
Oh,
way a
okay,
lot of
okay, okay.
interactions with ghosts and whatnot, and experiencing the
Mhm.
supernatural, I think is very very cool.
Okay.
I think it's very fun.
Okay. Okay. Pretty
Yeah.
good. Well, thank you very much, Dark, for helping to cover Kaetan. Yeah, Kaetan wa Kowakunai, also known as Kaetan Isn't Scary, is the localization. This is the manga original, adapted by what is it? I think you said student or project number 9?
No,
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 this
no,
is
no.
East Fish
Project number
Studio.
9 is this East Fish.
Excuse me, sorry.
This is
East
probably
Fish.
going to be their biggest series so far that they've done. I would imagine.
Hmm.
Seems to be. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They've helped with a couple other stuff, smaller stuff before, but I think this is definitely their one of their biggest ones right now. And then you mentioned, sorry, in the Clear Moonlit Dusk previously as well, or not previously, this season as well, which I haven't. I actually do want to watch now, especially because again, you said Kaitana was pretty good, but I want to see if they are able to actually do double duty
Yeah,
and
what they can
still
do with
improve
double
upon that.
duty. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But Uruashi, I believe. So, uh, again, if you guys do like that sort of horror themed series, but with a little bit more of the punching action, again, something that is relatively easy to digest, right? And it's not something that's like super complex bunch of plots, subplots like intermingling over X many episodes, but you want to see kind of like the monster of the week kind of
I don't
vibes,
know,
right?
man. I don't know, man. There's something weird going around. It's the same thing with Mirko. You thought it was pretty happy-go-lucky, but there's some weird, or not happy-go-lucky. You said Monster Week, but there's some weird stuff happening in that town. I
Well,
don't
that's
know,
what I
man.
Yeah,
mean.
I mean,
It's
That's what I
weird.
mean. It's like a very like it kind of like drags you through the like pulls you through the not drags like pulls you into the larger plot, like the larger story, that sort of
Mhm.
background by showing you like all these weird happenings and also weird ghosts.
Yeah.
There's also another thing that happens that I'm not going to get into that I'll probably tell you later, Spire, like when we're done with the series,
Okay.
because I don't want to spoil it, and I'll probably talk to us about it too. But I was like, like I said, like with that other character, and then there's also something else that happens where like you hear the dialogue and you're like, that that doesn't seem right. And so I do think it does tie into like the sort of larger story with the family in the town. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
definitely very interesting.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Dark. And again, this is Kaito Kowakunai. And if you do like this sort of like vibes, again, both with the episodic kind of journey, or not episodic kind of like monster of the week, as well as that sort of like more developing plot line, please do check it out. All right. Next up on the list, Near. What do you have for us?
I got
Yeah,
some
Near, talk
fucking.
about
I
talk
got
about
some
Steel
straight
Ball Run. Oh,
bullshit. Yeah, I watched Steel Ball Run.
hell yeah!
I don't know about you guys, but
It counts, Near.
It's the best anime ever.
You could have totally
yeah.
covered it, Near. It counts.
No,
Okay,
What
Veneer,
episodes
there's
that are
one
out?
episode out, man.
Yeah,
tell me
well,
the crop.
the
Tell me the
episode.
crop. Tell me the crop on this image in the bottom left corner there. Tell me that doesn't look like a sesame seed bun.
Dude, you
For a
are
burger.
fucking straight up
I-
mind fucked by just like being American.
To be
Like,
fair, I also thought it was bread if I was just looking at it.
Oh,
he's
jeez.
not wrong.
Anyways.
yeah. So, I watched Champignon no Majo, also known
Mhm.
as Champignon Witch.
Mhm.
This is a Typhoon Graphics production.
This sounds like a Chinese studio. To be
They,
honest,
they brought you bangers like One Room, and Roommate.
nice.
Yeah, and recently they did fuck was this called? The Water Magician, this guy shit, and
Yeah,
then
they've done a lot of like consistent work though.
the water
Um,
spirit one, or which one is
yeah,
it? The water spirit
and
one or the
Dahlia and
other one?
Bloom,
There's two.
crafting a fresh start, magical
Oh,
tools, stuff like that.
whatever.
But yeah, they're also working alongside. I don't really know how closely, but they're also working alongside. I don't even know how to pronounce this. Kazil.la.
Yeah, I saw
Which,
that and I was like, I don't know what
yeah,
how
for
to
those who
pronounce
don't know, is the studio
Qsel.la.
behind
Yeah. I was just saying.
Sekiro anime that's upcoming. Um, yeah. So I don't know how closely they're
That's
working
about
with
it,
that
right? It's
studio.
just like yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a sort of I guess fantasy drama about a witch that lives in the woods. And I was really disappointed by this one actually.
Dang. He's starting off
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah, this one was really disappointing. So the
Mhm.
first couple episodes start off as kind of like it's almost like a shoujo setup, right? Where it does the exposition where our main character Luna, is a witch, and she is a um poison witch. And the sort of exposition they gave is that um the black witches around the world kind of each have their own like kind of focused on like one like element or aspect or something like that.
Wow, this
How
sounds
many
Um,
like
black witches
true.
are there?
Yeah, this sounds like true magic.
I didn't count, but there's like a scene later where like there's like a council that shows up, and there's a lot of them. There's like
Oh, so it's like an almost like it's like an entire like kind. It's not like there are like
yeah,
six
yeah,
black witches. Or yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, there's like a fire witch and a wind witch and there's like a cat witch. There's a mouse witch. There's they're all like all different
So
like
is there
Yeah,
aspects.
is there a black magic witch?
No,
Well, but they're all
I'm pretty sure
black
all the
witches,
black
right?
witches are doing black magic.
Okay.
Yeah,
But is there a white witch?
there are white witches.
Hell yeah.
And so the lore is kind of like the white witches are the ones that are like ruling the kingdom. And they're more like mages than they are witches. And whenever they find one of the witches, they kill them. They just kill them. So the witches kind of have to keep their head down, and sort of live in secrecy, not really make themselves known, stuff like that.
Mhm.
And so as a result, Luna she lives a pretty lonely life, right? She lives in the forest with really nothing to keep her company other than her familiars, um, and stuff like that. And every once in a while, she goes into town and she sells some of her, you know, potions and stuff she's made to the apothecary. Um, and during one of her visits, she sees this young lad, this handsome young lad, and she's like, "Oh, he's so handsome," and she ends up drawing him um, one night, and the
Okay.
drawing sort of comes to life, right?
Oh, just like in
And
Harry Potter.
yeah, she ends up having a dance with this drawing, this like sort of spirit drawing, and
Okay.
it's a cute little scene. And then the next time she goes back to town, she notices that the same young lad is like he's all like gaunt and withered and
Gasp,
stuff like
Nier,
that.
it's true.
And so she kind of panics and she realizes what's happened, and then she casts some spell and basically like gives his like takes the sort of spirit out of the picture and back into him, right?
Nier, you get it,
Hmm.
right? Why? Don't you remember why Sanosuke was scared of cameras back in Rurouni Kenshin? They
Yeah,
steal your soul,
yeah.
man.
But in doing so, I guess he like remembers the dance or whatever, right? And so
Okay.
um the guy kind of sees her and he's like, wait a minute, like, I remember that. And he tries to essentially reach out to her. Um, and the first two episodes are kind of this little arc where it's kind of like um, it is a very kind of, it's pretty cliched, right? But it's a pretty standard like shoujo setup where the pretty boy is like, you know, enraptured by the reserved, shy, kind of, not typically seen as pretty kind of girl. And they kind of hit it off, and circumstances
Small
dictate that
Cinderella
they
story kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
circumstances dictate that they can't really be together.
Yeah. Yeah.
um
Yeah.
and it's pretty cliched, but it's kind of cute. And the arc sort of resolves in this because the um the town guard sort of like catches wind, and it sets up that this pretty boy guy kind of has connections to like the nobility, and if word got around that the witch was coming around just to see him, like essentially she'd be dead, right?
Hmm.
um and so the only way that they can kind of meet each other is through these spirit paintings, right? And um they do that for a bit, and then this other character comes in and he's like, you
Wait,
really shouldn't.
how does how does that work? Like, aren't they
Yeah,
losing a part of the soul each
yeah.
time?
So this other character comes in and he's like, you really shouldn't be doing that because, like, kind of you're kind of killing him in town. Like he's kind of like dying. Um, and she realizes that, and she's like, well, I guess the best thing to do would be essentially she has to like wipe his memory of everything that happened and kind of like you know let it go, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Like, oh, Nier, I get it. Let it go, like Frozen.
yeah, sure.
Why did she just put herself in a painting and do like mirror mirror on the wall kind
Um,
of tomfoolery?
well, she does, but that's
What?
how she. That's
Damn,
how she.
so predictable.
Yeah, that's how she sort of gives his stuff back and wipes his memory at the end. Um, but yeah, like I said, it's a cliched but kind of quaint kind of story about love and circumstances and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And I kind of liked it. It was a short little arc,
It's
and it was
definitely.
cute.
Is this like originally a manga? Is this like in like from a
Yeah,
shoujo?
this is manga original. I actually don't know. What is this published in? Let's
A
say
lot of these kind of look like
manga arc.
shoujo kind of.
Yeah, it's got a very shoujo style, but I don't know if it's in a shoujo manga or not, or
Oh, okay, okay,
shoujo
okay.
magazine rather.
Nier, would you give
Um,
your soul to meet a goth witch baddie?
it looks like it is in a shoujo magazine, so it probably is like
Okay,
more of
okay,
a
okay.
shoujo focus. But yeah, so that's like the first arc, and I was like, that's kind of cute, right?
Hmm.
Um, and then
I bet.
the yeah, so the after that, it kind of, I guess, sets up like the main crux of the show, like the actual drive and push of the show. She finds
Right.
this guy in the woods that's been like
What, a new guy?
stabbed. Yeah, it's a different guy. Um,
That harlot.
and he's been stabbed and he's been cursed, basically, right? He's got this curse put on him.
What was
And
the
so,
wow, double curse?
yeah. And so she saves him, right? And then she, through her magic, she absorbs the curse, absorbs the poison. Um, and she ends up realizing that this curse is, what do they call it? This curse, like it indicates that like this guy that she's found, like he's destined to become the end of all things, which is this curse that like
Oh, the
essentially
classic.
absorbs um like the entire, like every single grudge and grievance and negative emotion that
Mm-hmm.
humanity has. Like it absorbs it all until it
100.
eventually becomes this big monster, and it goes on a rampage, and it destroys kingdoms, and
Isn't
it
that
makes
Nier? Isn't
people
that just
rot
Angermania?
from basically, yeah, it's basically Angermania. But yeah, they call it the end of all things, right? And so she saves him, and the Council of Witches, uh, you know, immediately catches wind that she saved this boy that's destined to become the end of all things.
Mm-hmm.
And the Council of Witches are like, you got to kill that motherfucker right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And she's
It's like
like,
Anakin Skywalker. Like you gotta
yeah.
chuck him in the desert somewhere.
And she's like, no, I'm not going to do that, right? Because it's revealed that before she became a witch, she was destined to become the end of all things. But
Oh, okay.
through her sort of study of magic and her ability to, um, teach herself the ability to absorb and dispel sort of poisons, and curses, and stuff like that, she avoided her fate of becoming the end of all
Mm-hmm.
things, right? And so she wants to sort of extend that opportunity to this, young boy, right? And have him
Mm-hmm.
sort of, um, give him the opportunity to overcome his fate as well. And it's an interesting setup, right? Um, the problem is the execution, right? So
Mm.
the um the main setup is basically if he can learn magic and to control magic within 3 years, the Council of Witches will be like, yeah, sure, right? We'll let him live. Um, and so like immediately, like day one, Luna's like mindset is like, I gotta be hard on this kid. I gotta teach him like as much magic as soon as possible. Um,
Yeah. So he doesn't get screwed over. Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is, this kid, Lee's, has huge memory issues, right?
What do you
And
mean by memory
so
issues?
the issue becomes almost every day he like fucking forgets who he is, like where he is,
God
what's
damn
going
it.
on. And so uh, he's like like progress is just like not happening in this series, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's constantly kind of repeating this idea of like, oh well, like how do you teach somebody who forgets fucking everything, right? Or forgets who they are or whatever. And then at the same time,
Wait,
Luna
he forgets who
herself,
he is, not just the
yeah, like
subjects.
yeah, like he forgets, yeah,
Okay.
like he doesn't know who he is basically.
Jesus Christ.
Um,
Okay.
and Luna herself as a main character is like she is so like reticent and reserved that like she's almost to the point of like near mute. Like she has maybe like 5 or so lines in like the
It's
7 or
like
8
the
episodes I
silent. It's like
watched.
more silent than the Silent Witch that you
Yeah,
covered.
she does not speak very much at all. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so it's this issue of like neither party kind of is really able to communicate like what their issues are and or like what is actually happening or you know and so kind of the drama that ends up happening, right? Because this is a drama series. It's not really like a laid back kind of slice of life thing. um there are stakes on the line, right?
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much all of the drama that ends up coming from this series is basically like these two characters just don't speak to each other, and therefore resentment, you know, uh, bubbles up.
Miscommunication.
Yeah,
Miscommunication.
and it's just like you just do that over and over and over and over again. It's just like it gets really tiring. Um,
They're using the same shtick over and over again. Is why you're
yeah,
saying it gets
yeah,
tiring. Yes.
basically. And it's pretty unfortunate because, like I said, the initial like that first like 2 episode arc, had like a neat. I mean, again, it was cliched, but it was cute. It was like the idea of you know, um,
Mm-hmm.
like uh what people do, so, for sort of for connection and whether that's worth either fighting for or letting go or stuff like that. And this
Right.
is kind of this, initial like main setup with the kid who's destined to become, the end of all things. It's like a similar idea, right? Where just because something is quote unquote fated to end in tragedy doesn't mean you shouldn't like fight for a better outcome, right?
Right.
And it's a neat theme, I guess. It's a neat idea, but the problem is the execution is
The
just like
execution. Yeah.
it's just not it. Um, it doesn't help that it doesn't help at all that like the Lee's like the young boy is like not he's not very likable either. He's pretty
In what way?
he's pretty prone to sort of emotional outbursts and kind of temper
Okay.
tantrums and stuff like that. Just because it's like again the main issue is like they haven't like really communicated what is on the line here, like why he's learning magic. They're kind of just like he wakes up and he's just like, what am I doing here? And they're just like, you're gonna learn magic now, and if you don't, we're gonna kill you. It's just like, okay, sure.
Wow, Nier,
And
you know
so
what this sounds like? This sounds like grooming. You will become
he
of age, and
yeah,
you
I
will
mean,
marry into the family.
in a way, but yeah, it's just like the just sitting the kid down and be like, hey, look, man, uh, shit is like not good, okay? And if you don't do like what we're telling you, like things are probably not going to end up well for you. So we do really have your best intentions like in mind, but like you gotta start learning magic like
Mm.
ASAP, right? They don't really do that. They're kind of just like, I'm your teacher now, and if you don't learn magic, I'm gonna kill you. And if you try to leave, I'm gonna kill you. It's like, okay, a bit of an odd strategy, I guess.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, it's just kind of unfortunate. Um, because like Luna herself
Essentially,
is
you don't like
cute.
how it's this railroaded, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, like Luna herself is cute, and like the sort of familiars that she has. She has a little like cow familiar that turns into this tiny weird goblin thing. It's kind of cute, and some of the other familiars she has like this sheep familiar. It's cute, and some of the designs are cute. Um, and again, like the initial setup, I was kind of expecting like a sort of a slow pace, almost more kind of like a more local version of like um almost like Witch Hat Atelier, right? Um,
Mm.
but a bit more like lower stakes, right? Um,
Mhm.
but then it ended up being like, yeah, there's this kid and he's destined to become the end of all things. You have to teach him magic, or else
Good
we're
luck.
gonna kill him. It's just like, okay, sure. I mean, like you could do
I
something.
guess.
You could still do something quaint with that because it's like you do have like the 3-year time limit stuff, but I don't know. I don't know. It's just kind of frustrating to watch. The same
Mhm.
characters kind of stumble over the same gaffes over and over again because it's like
Yeah.
they kind of refuse to make Luna like have a backbone, and then they refuse to have Lee's kind of be more um
Normal.
like understanding and less of a
Mhm.
like a petulant child. It's just kind of frustrating, especially because as a consequence of Luna being as like reserved and untalkative as she is, the story kind of has to shift to like almost the perspective of Lee's, like the young boy, like as because he's like he seems to be the only
Because it
one
slows
that's
down
given
so
like
much. Yeah.
like introspection and actual like character spotlight. Um,
Mhm.
and again, he's just not very likable. Um, so yeah, it's
Mhm. Yeah.
unfortunate. Um, yeah, the story was very disappointing. Um, as for the audio visuals, the animation itself, I would say, is pretty mediocre. Um, I think Typhon Graphics have like they're not like a big name, obviously, right?
Mhm.
But they put out stuff that looks decent, right? I do think, because I went back and looked at the PV and stuff for Dahlia and Bloom. I think it looked pretty okay, right? Like it had
The Dahlia Bloom was fine. Dahlia Bloom was
decent
fine.
stuff. And then again, Water Magician, I think looked pretty okay. The colors were a bit drawn out, but like the actual animation itself was pretty solid. But for this, the animation is pretty stiff. The I feel like the character designs have not translated well from the sort of, very um uh classic kind of shoujo-esque manga style um
Mhm.
to animation. I feel like they didn't translate super well. Um, I will say some of the designs are cute. Some of them have this very um I don't really know how to describe it, but there's this. I took a screenshot of it earlier. There's this like king mushroom um that I guess is like uh one of the, I guess, big like teachers for Luna, and he's got this. It's almost like something you'd see from like a like benevolent creature in Berserk. Almost, he's got this like it's like
Oh,
almost
what the
unsettling. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like this
yeah, yeah.
almost unsettling look to him, and it's a really cool kind of aesthetic to put
Right,
into
right,
this.
right, right.
Um, but yeah, like
It's not
the
like fully
designs.
comedic and it's not fully like weirdly like awkward, like
Yeah,
like horror inducing kind of vibes.
yeah,
Yeah.
like you can tell that it's like this is a weird creature, but it is still supposed to be like, gentle and kind kind of thing, right?
Hmm.
It's a good balance, I think. And when they show the other witches and stuff, like the witch council or whatever, they've all got like weird, freakish ass fucking outfits on. Um, it's got a very interesting kind of uh aesthetic to it going on.
Hmm.
Yeah, I just think the adaptation itself was a bit flawed. Um, visually, it's also got this, the thing that some American cartoons will do, where when you like shade in like a color, it'll be like um almost like a background texture. You know what I mean? Um,
Hmm. Yeah,
Chowder
yeah,
would
yes,
would
yes,
do
yes,
this a
yes,
lot.
yes, yes.
So
Uh-huh.
it does that with this, but it's much more subtle, right? It's not as um
Okay, I see,
apparent
I
or
see.
jarring. So like the familiar that Luna has, the one that turns into a cow, um, his fur will be almost like it's almost like a construction paper texture, right? Um,
Okay.
and yeah, it's weird. Um, I don't want to say it's bad, but it's odd. It's unique for sure. Um, but again, I think
It's
the
not
the
full go
overall,
hands, but it's like it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's very unique.
Mhm.
I don't dock it any points for doing what it's doing, but I do think the overall like animation quality is a bit mediocre. Um,
Okay, I see, I see.
so it's a bit unfortunate. The OP is Mahotsukai no Niki by Rosu. The song I do like. The OP, however, is uh it's very how do I describe it? Um, ghetto. It's
What do you mean by
basically
getaway? That, that's I've never heard of that opening being
I
described by
have
that.
to let me look this up
You're like they
because
just had like hired a couple of hobos on the side.
so basically the visuals
Uh-huh.
are like it's almost like a 3D Unity um like world space that has like the characters kind of like superimposed over it. Um
Okay.
and like I said, I do like the song, but like there are moments in this OP where you can see like um the cutout for the character has not been like um green screened properly, and you can see like bits of white that there shouldn't be. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. I see where you're going with this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's very.
It's a cute idea, but again, it's
It's
just
like
not been.
it looks. It's like they want to create a contrast, but it kind of just looks unfinished. Is what I think what you're going for,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay, okay. I see it.
Um, and the ED is Kimiwa by Miss Uja. Um, I don't like the song quite as much, and again,
Mhm.
the visuals are more or less the same kind of idea, just a bit uh more toned down, I guess. But yeah,
Okay, 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 okay.
yeah, audio visually a bit disappointing. I do like some of the ideas it's going for, um, but not the best execution. Um,
Yeah, 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 yeah. I see.
yeah.
I see what you're saying. Okay. All right. Pretty good. I guess any last words? And again, what rating would you give it?
Um, yeah, I mean, just kind of disappointing overall. Uh, I guess I expected something a bit different than what it actually was, and what it actually was ended up being
What did you
not something
did you
enjoyable.
expect the kind of a little bit more of like again a silent witch, maybe a Majin Tabi kind of vibes, or like what did you think
Um,
going in?
kind of, I guess, not so much of like a journey kind of thing, but more of just like a uh
Trying to avoid saying soul life, but you're
I,
like
I
yeah.
you're
I was
like
gonna say it sounds like to me like after that first arc, I feel like when you were describing it, I was expecting the rest of the series to also then be like a series of these like small stories and arcs of this witch within this world that she has to like try to navigate
Yeah,
without being spotted.
I mean that is kind of what I expected because they initially set up that witches are extremely long lived, right? And
Mhm.
so um like when they're introducing Luna, they already say that like yeah she's lived for hundreds of years, right? And so
Yeah.
after the first arc, I was kind of maybe expecting like a time skip and maybe um something else would pop up into the forest or some other story about how she's dealing with the loneliness, maybe some stories with some other witches, which they do like a flashback of a friend, like another witch she had that was friends who ended up getting killed by the white witches, which is another small arc that was kind of interesting, but again it was like in the middle of all this other shit happening and it was kind of just like
Mhm.
I don't know. But yeah, like just kind of a sort of like yeah, like a slow life kind of. This is the witch living in the forest. She's kind of um, coming to terms with the fact that you know she kind of has to live a life of seclusion. Otherwise, if she makes too much noise or too big of a scene, um, the kingdom essentially is going to start storming into the forest and kill her, right? Or
Mhm.
people she's close with or something like that. It's not that, which I think is fine. Um, but again, I just think what it ended up becoming is also not very good. So, uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The overall kind of developments, unfortunately.
unfortunate. As for the rating, it's currently sitting at 6.8 on Mall, which is kind of
That's
surprisingly
high for
high.
Mal. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I think
know.
they looked at the aesthetics, not the opening, but like the general aesthetics, and they were like, "This seems very deep to me," or whatever. They're like,
Yeah,
and then
I
they
do
just like
know.
rated it higher.
Initial impressions like for that like first two episodes were really high because I remember seeing
Yeah, 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 yeah.
this being talked about online, some circles, and praises were pretty high. So it could be influenced
Hmm.
stuff, but personally, I would probably give this a 4. Um,
Hmm.
I'm just not too keen on it. I think,
Yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah.
yeah, the themes are good, the setup is good, but the actual route it decides to go is just it's not very good and it's quite disappointing.
Hmm.
So
I see. I see. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. A little bit unfortunate, but we can't always have not everything can always work out perfectly. But Again, thank you very much, Nier, for helping to cover this. This was again Champignon the Majo, also known as Champignon Witch, manga original, adapted by Typhoon Graphics and Qzil.la or yeah, Qzil.la, I guess is what I want to say. A little bit had an interesting start, but it kind of ended up conking out. You know, it does happen to a decent number, a surprising, not surprising, but a decent amount of Japanese series. A little bit less so these days, but still does happen from time to time. Unfortunate, but again, it does happen. But yeah, again, thank you very much, Nier, for helping cover this. All right, I'm going to take up the rear here. Just kind of go over one of the series that I think got a lot of attention during the season, branding wise. It is Tune In to the Midnight Heart, also known as Mayonaka Hata Chun, also known as Mayochu for short. So this is like from the cover, this looks similar to a bunch of the other kind of I want to say like four girls doing music kind of stuff that you've seen around these parts. Obviously, recently started out with Bozoro. You know, it went into um what is it? The Ojo-sama like rock anime. There was a Yorukura and so on, and now stuff like this, right? So I think they're kind of it's all they're working off of similar vibes, but this time instead of just having the girls be in a club doing cute things, this is now a rom-com slash harem. So before I go into the series, though, again, this is a uh, manga original, published in Weekly Shonen. Yeah, Weekly Shonen magazine. So the author is Igarashi Masakuni. Igarashi Masakuni did previously Detectives These Days Are Crazy, which I believe Dark or somebody here covered. And then
Which
they
one?
did Detectives
No,
These
no one
Days Are
covered that.
Crazy. Oh,
I
really?
I
Okay.
I kind of wanted someone to cover it. It was supposed to be like Nier, but he didn't do it. Nier, how could you?
Okay, okay, okay.
What?
I feel like you were
I
But
think it
gonna
was
do it.
supposed to be. I think
He
it was supposed
didn't.
to be me, but then it
Oh,
got
yeah. And then
killed
you
okay,
by
kind
okay.
of switched
something
up
else.
at the
Yeah.
last moment. Yeah. But anyways, and then he also made Senryu Girl, which is like a little bit of like a rom com, like one of those like what single shtick rom coms similar to like Komi-san, but instead the shtick is the girl communicates via haiku. It was cute. That one was cute. I read the manga and I enjoyed it, but so he has like an okay track record. But this one is kind of the latest amongst his like recent series of works. It got adapted by Gecko Studio. So for those of you who don't know, Gecko Studio is known recently for doing a decent number of isekais these days. They also did My One Hit Kill Sister. There was a cute girl in the hero's party, so I tried confessing to her. So also known as Yukawa. Yukawa,
I feel
obviously.
like I did both of
Um,
those series.
I think yeah, you definitely did Yukawa because you literally reviewed it like two episodes ago.
I think I did One Hit Kill Sister as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did One Hit Kill Sister as well. So,
Because it was
again,
who sang the opening? I feel like it was
yeah,
who's it?
I mean it's probably yeah, but anyways, so they've done a decent amount of isekais recently. The Gecko Studio kind of brings here sort of the director Takahashi Masayuki. So for those of you who don't know, Takahashi Masayuki is the director behind Butareba. Um, what is it like the pig liver isekai kind of thing that went around the social media for a little bit. He does also have a little bit of storyboard experience with some other isekais and rom-coms outside of Gecko Prime contract works. So alongside director Takashi, Gecko also put together this mix of all. I want to say half of the staff are like super veterans, super prolific. They've worked on a ton of stuff, and then kind of mix them with a couple of people who are a little bit more up and comers, right? They still have some experience, but they're not nearly as experienced as some of these other people. And most of these people kind of come from, Gecko's studio connections from stuff like Yukawa and elsewhere. So that's sort of the team that's been cobbled together here. Going on to the voice acting cast. So pretty much this entire list is a line of top seiyuu and I want to say super prolific like veterans with the exception of one person. So that one person is Momoko Seto. Sorry, Seto Momoko, who is a little bit more of an up and comer. She did do voice act Bell No Light in Uma Musume Cinderella Grey. But other than that, this is one of her kind of more major main hero and kind of roles here.
I don't know, man. I think a Velno Light is a lot better of a main role than whatever this is. Hey,
Well,
man, people like
yeah,
Velno Light.
yeah. I mean, they like a lot of characters in the Cinderella Grey, but other than that, Momoko Seto or Seto Momoko, pretty much the rest of the cast is filled to the brim with like all the veterans, right? The names that you know and love in these recent years. Ito Miku. You have I want to say Okubo Rumi here, Sushiro Sayumi, what is it? Hanazakana, Toyama Now. There are a couple other people as well. You have Yasuda Rikuya, who voices the protagonist. He did a role as sort of like the Mega Knight, the cool boy in Cute High Earth Defense Club. I think I want to say the second season. I think he did the titular Kotasashi-kun in Sawaranai Kotasashi-kun or Hands Off Kotasashi-kun. And then you have also some other people, again, Wakayuki, who is, I believe, a member of Iris, but she also did Leona West in Pripara, as well as Sumeragi Itsuki in Kakigurui. So pretty good, like very experienced cast, pretty much, except for, again, Seto Momoko, but pretty much all names that you mostly should have heard of. Going on to the opening ending. So the opening is something that drew some eyeballs because it is Tsuki ni Mukatte Utte. Tsuki ni Mukatte Utte. Or also known as Attack Towards the Moon or Shoot Towards the Moon by Hoshimashi Suisei, right?
Who's
So
that?
obviously the famous Hololive VTuber singer.
Oh yeah, name 3 songs.
God damn it, brother. I can't. No. Sorry. Um, it's. I want to say this opening theme is a very above average in all aspects. The storyboard itself is about as good or creative it's gonna get within sort of the standard rom-com harem genre setup, and also given you know the actual likely budget that it actually has. There's like a lot of these like weird creative cuts and ways to kind of show off the characters as they're being introduced, and there are some of these like
So,
humorous split second interactions that kind of happen within the opening that I do like.
so you're saying that the budget for that opening is worse than the budget for the actual MV that Hoshimachi Suisei put out?
um I haven't seen the
It's full
music video
CG, my
actually,
dude. It's full 3D.
but yeah, I think it's not. I think there are some parts where uh, not necessarily the opening, but in comparison to like the entire series, you could say that the opening probably took a decent amount of money. But anyways, I think the storyboard was about as good as you could get for a series that I'll talk about a little bit more later, but is probably constrained a little bit by the budget. Um, The instrumental composition and especially like the intro as well as the bridge are definitely a lot more unique than the standard kind of J-pop. For a second, like when I initially heard the intro, I thought it was going to go into like some math rock shit. But it was very good. And obviously, Hoshimachi vocals do a really good job in the song of very properly and stably supporting the composition, right? Obviously, she has kind of like her thinner, higher register, but in this song, and obviously others, but
But
in
is it
this song
better than
especially,
what's the song? Yeah, what's the
what
song?
BB?
No, what?
Oh,
No, Neil,
yeah.
what's the song?
What, the Fox one?
The Suicide Squad one, yeah.
Ugh, shut up, man.
What's it
Yeah.
called? What's the
The
song called?
I don't remember.
Go get Go Getters. Is it Go
Yeah,
Getters?
anyways, but yeah, it's so Hoshimachi here has like a slightly thinner and higher register, but it still clearly has a lot of like proper strength behind it. I want to say, the overall combination of the vocals, the composition, the storyboard, it's probably one of the better openings of the season. I want to say like hands down. It's quite solid. The ending theme, however, this is a Koe no Kiseki, or also known as Trails of Voices by Swala. I It's a very standard kind of mediocre ending. It has like more or less like the stills of the characters kind of just staying in place, kind of looking into the distance. The song itself is a very standard J-pop. Like there's really nothing to write home about. It's a nothing burger. There's a couple of insert songs like spread out throughout the series as well, mostly in the latter half of the series. Um, I, most of these are kind of sprinkled in during inside the plot, like when they're in the karaoke or when they're singing to like a crowd or whatever. Uh, I haven't so far. I have not been impressed. Let's say by any of them. Um, the in terms of the overall audio visuals, the character designs, like just the anime character designs, right? They are fine, and the still kind of still frames are okay, but the overall animations, even in terms of like the lip syncing, the mouth moving, stuff like that, um, yes, it is a slice of life, but even those like basic kind of stuff, I want to say leave something to be overall desired. There are parts where they deform the characters, right? Like there are some parts where they turn the characters into like cats or like chibi or boba, and those like art styles are cute, but the overall like quality of the animation when they're moving, when they're talking to each other, stuff like that, leave a little bit something to be desired. Even considering that again, yes, it is a slice of life. There's not that much animation that's required, but I still was a little bit disappointed by it. You can kind of see the budget constraints there. The BGM is a pretty standard mix of the sort of 2010s visual novel, school life, OST kind of business, right? That you kind of see across all the standard rom-com school life anime, plus some standard kind of electric guitar focus, indie rock vibe BGMs, as per kind of the theme of the series. It's not very inspiring. There's not that much going on there. So that's pretty much it for the audio visuals. As for the story is just like uh, so this the main guy is a rich guy, with a heart of gold, right? He comes into class, or he transfers into school. He transfers into class, and he's trying to uh the reason why he transferred into the high school, the reason why he's kind of like doing all of this kind of stuff, going into the, uh, looking weirdly at some of the girls, going into this club, blah, 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 it's all to find this one particular live streamer that kind of gave him solace previously,
Oh, live
called
streamer or
It's an insane
VTuber?
thing to do, but okay.
just yeah, it's not it's cyber stalking is what he's doing. But
Like I said, live streamer or VTuber? Where is this? Where is this setting?
faceless streamer. Yeah, faceless streamer.
Like
Called
Utaite? Where are we going? No.
no, just a streamer, just a streamer. Um, uh, so a streamer called Apollo, right? A female streamer, and so
Aaron?
obviously, what?
You don't know Apollo the parrot?
No.
No.
Okay. Anyways, can I continue? All right. Let me. So the you have this female live streamer that he kind of took, was partial to, called Apollo, right? And he's trying to kind of go through, again, cyber stalking, whatever you want to call it, go through the high school, go through the different people to see whether Apollo is in the school, right? Um, and he comes across the broadcasting club, which has these four girls in it at the moment, and he's like, wait a minute, these voices all kind of sound similar. These like mannerisms, voices, all kind of seem similar to the girl he previously, found solace in, again, Apollo. So he's trying to find out which one of these girls is Apollo, because obviously Apollo wanted to keep her identity a secret. But
Can't have
and
that.
yeah, exactly.
Can't relate.
Um, and they, while the girls are just like, who the hell is this guy? They kind of let him into the broadcasting club anyways because he's like, oh, I'll
Because he's
use all
rich.
my money to help.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, he's
yeah,
rich,
yeah.
and there he's like, I'll use the money to help your broadcasting club and your ambitions and all that stuff. And they're like, okay, I
Well,
guess.
gold diggers.
And yeah, pretty much gold diggers versus cyber stalker. It's a great combination. But and then that's sort of the start of the story. And most of the story is just like they have that sort of premise of, oh, the protagonist eventually wants to find Apollo. But so far most of the episodes are kind of just based around him more or less doing the standard rom-com thing of like helping each of the girls, right? Each of the girls have their own struggles, right? Each of the girls have their own ambitions, right? They're not like all trying to become idol singers. Like one of them wants to become a voice actress, one of them wants to become an announcer, one of them, is like burgeoning like VTuber.
Oh,
Um
here we go, VTuber.
and one of them does want to become like a singer slash like artist, singing artist. And it's a lot like he spends like each episode or like set of episodes trying to help, each of the girls, right? In their struggles, being like, hey, I'm suggesting this because I'm an awesome therapist or whatever. Um, you why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? Like you got to believe in yourself, all that standard like rom-com jazz of like the protagonist earnestly trying to help the girl, and then the girl being like, oh man, oh, I guess it did work out. And then, plus affection points towards the guy. Overall, the story isn't very impressive. Most of it's kind of that. Obviously, I think, how do I say this? Um, I will say up front that I'm not a big fan of this specific setup for rom-coms to begin with. I'm not a big fan of, oh, this guy knew this childhood friend from the past, but she couldn't remember her face. And now there are, these five girls in a share house with him, and he has to figure out which one was his childhood friend or whatever. Like that sort of like he has to find the true girl or whatever, that the Cinderella vibes kind of shit. I've never been a fan of that. Because it keeps kind of um uh being this sort of will they, won't they, right? That sort
You're
of, hey,
talking
find the
specifically
right.
about like this setup in regards to like a harem type scenario, right?
Yes, 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 exactly. So it's a lot, the whole like harem, but with a setup of find the right girl devolves much quicker into will they, won't they? Like, is this the right? Or how do I say this? It devolves into repetition much quicker
Yeah.
than other harem formats because it goes back
Because they kind
into
of have to
quickly.
go through a
So wait,
similar loop with each
they all
girl
have
to
the
kind of be
same.
like, is this the girl? Is this the one? Or is this the
Yeah, yeah,
one?
yeah, exactly,
So wait, they all
exactly.
have the same mannerisms as Apollo.
They
Is that
they all have like subtle like hints, quote unquote, like that are
what?
like,
What if
oh,
they're
this,
all Apollo?
yeah, yeah, what if they're all, oh, yeah. um, but it's like because in say a simple example, right? In like a battle academy harem, right? There's kind of this thing where the setup leads into them kind of working together to, I don't know, save the academy or be a better team together or whatever it is, right? And that's kind of goes other places that, you know, might be old and contrite by now, old and like not very exciting by now because a bunch of artists have done it. But I think it's less tired than this sort of premise of like find the right girl, guys. Um and so I've never been a big fan of this, but I will say the way Mayochu spends time on this sort of like harem creation in which Mayochu spends a lot more time on the girl's development rather than and then yeah, it spends a lot more time on the girl's development than on the main premise of the series, which is like again, like hey, the protagonist has to find the right girl. Um, it kind of stays away from the main premise and stays more on the girl's development side, which I do like a little bit more because that means a little bit more character development and less dealing with what I consider to be a bad premise, a bad setup. So I think it's a little bit better in that sense, but it's still a bad premise. So like eventually I know in the back of my mind they have to come back and the protagonist eventually has to be like, all right guys, who's Apollo? Who is it guys? Like that it has to happen. So it's a little bit unfortunate because it eventually has to come crashing down. Um I other than that again, it's very, 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 very standard. I would say it's slightly less standard than Also Love, which I covered, a couple episodes ago, just because of the fact that there is a little bit more character development for each of the girls. But in terms of the overall structure, I wouldn't say it's like that much different. Again, it's the same setup. The protagonist, I don't want to say I don't want to be that crude and say like max on the girls, right? But he saves their figurative kittens from the tree, right? He is the knight in the shining armor. He's like, hey, why don't you try this? Why don't you believe in yourself? Why don't you, lean on my shoulder? All that kind of crap. And then, their affection points towards him
But does he
rise,
do it?
right?
Does he do it with money?
Part of it's through money, but a lot of the obviously the parts where he gains affection with them is through consultation, right? He kind of gives them advice on blah blah blah, where he's just this, that, and the other thing, and then wacky hijinks sometimes happen, and overall good developments ensue. So
Would you rather have
overall, it's
consultation or money?
I, I
I'd
would
rather have
rather have
money.
money to be
Yeah,
honest,
just saying.
but
Nah,
yeah,
I'd rather have the
but
dinner with Jay-Z, bro.
True, bro.
But I think overall it's very standard. It's nothing home to write about. And while it's more innocuous than a lot of the other harem setups, right? I still don't think it's gonna lead to a good end. I have not read the manga, obviously, but I'm not suspecting that the ending will be like that inspiring, right? I respect the Senri Girl author, okay? I respect him, but I
Who do
think
you think? Well, who do you think is gonna win, Spire?
um I mean, the issue is like these days, like the meta can go anywhere with like harem stuff, right? Because it's like once we had
Yeah, like I'd never expected that Quince ending. I hate it.
um yeah, the issue is it's like before it used to be relatively predictable, but now that we have big name cases such as Haganai, I want to say the two
The
main
Haganai
examples,
incident. Yeah.
the Haganai apocalypse, right? The the two big names would be Haganai, and then the other one would be I want to say uh
I just said Quince.
Quint. Why? Yeah, Quince. Why did I blank out on that? Sorry, you literally just mentioned that. Excuse me. Gotobin no Hanayume, right? Um, those would be the two basic examples. I wouldn't count Santa no Ichidon because that was a little bit more just like it was
The
very
world God only knows. That's also one. I will never believe that ending of who won.
the world God only knows is an interesting case because it kind of like it wasn't like the author was trying to throw a curveball. It was more just like the author kind of just gave up. He was just like, I'm done with this. It was like an overlord situation, right?
Yeah.
Where the author, you could tell, like by the time it went through like all the goddess chapters, the author was just like, yeah, I just want to be done with the series. I don't really give a fuck. You know what I mean? Whereas Haganai and Gotobun no Hanayumi was clearly like, hey, I'm the author and I will try to throw a curveball because fuck you. Um, and so I think once those names got out into the mainstream and those endings kind of was seen, it opened the floodgates where like I'm okay with another hero being chosen, right? I'm a personal, I have a personal bias towards the childhood friend ending myself in like a visual novel or whatever. But the issue is that these two series didn't didn't really create these like paths organically, right? It was pretty clear that in both these series, the alternate hero ending happened because the author was like, well, fuck you, I'm gonna throw a curveball. And that's not really like like I just like you're not that's not organic growth. You're just like saying, hey, I'm just not gonna pick the main hero. Right. And like it's like you gotta have some sort of like lead up to that person being chosen or like the other like hero not being chosen or whatever, right? And you can't just be like, oh, it's harem, like all the way up to like maybe the second to last chapter, and then the second to last chapter, suddenly the random girl confesses, and you're like, okay, there's like no development there, but sure, I guess. And so uh the meta is like more fucked now because harem series harem series artists, authors are more willing to give the middle finger to readers and just being like, yeah, it's just this random girl. So
Because they deserve it
I,
too.
yeah, to be honest, yeah, we do deserve it. I'm not gonna front. My guess, the conventional answer is probably either the student council vice president, though the one in the black hair girl, the one who wants to be an announcer and who's a little bit more like generally communicative of like the overall goings on of the broadcasting club with the protagonist. It's either her or the singer slash artist. I think that's
I
the
think it's the
conventional answer.
VTuber.
Yeah. So those are the conventional answers. I think the alternative, hey, the artist going like, hey, fuck you, this is it, is probably the VTuber.
Hell yeah.
The VTuber. Um, but that's sort of my guess. But things have definitely gotten a little bit more whack ever since this sort of like contrarian streak, I want to call it, it started happening a lot during these rom-com creations. Although again, for the most part, a lot of most harem rom-com series still do end up with like, hey, we're all gonna run off into the sunset after you mac on, all five of these girls equally kind of thing. So, who knows? But yeah, I overall very, very run of the mill, I think, overall in terms of the structure, the premise setup. I wasn't really impressed by any of like the slapstick, the whole guy helping out each of the girls kind of thing. There was nothing in it that I haven't seen before that I really valued. So I would say overall, um honestly, the only like really decent thing that I got out from this was like the opening. So it's like hard for me to give it a good score. I would say it's just like very mediocre into like not. I think the disappointment over what I expected is also big. So I would have to give it a 4.5, not 4.5. Excuse me. What am I saying? Um,
Out of
four
5?
going
Hell
into
yeah.
3.5. 4 going into 3.5, and the 0.5 may boost or so, like 0.5 of that score comes from the opening. I think if you took away the opening, probably it starts going into like the threes. It's not worth it, I think. I don't know what it is on uh Mall, but I'm probably gonna guess it's fucking high because there are a bunch of suckers who like this sort of stuff. Yep, it's 7.26. Yep,
Nice.
yep. But yeah, it's very standard, run of the mill. There's nothing. If you see, one of these, rom-com harems where it's like a guy walks into a mansion and suddenly, there are five childhood made friends, and he has to find the right one from when he was a kid, the true girl that he was in love with. You've seen all of it. That's pretty much what it is. But yeah, again, this is Mayochu, also known as Tune Into the Midnight Heart, also known as Mayonaka Hata Tune. Original by the author behind Senyu Girl, adapted by Gekko, who's been on a hot isekai streak. Gekko Studio, which has been on a hot isekai streak lately. I would not recommend this, honestly. I apologize to all the people who are jerking off on it on social media, but I'm not a big fan. All right. With that, we are finally done with all of our Winter 2026 reviews. Again, next episode will be the spring previews, but before we head out the door, we're going to be doing our news segment first, and then our shout out and call it segment later, obviously. News. So there's actually not that much news this time around. Yeah. So a couple news on the webtoon front, as per usual. First is Naver Webtoon apparently is trying to test simultaneous global releases. So it's trying to essentially release titles in like multiple different languages across like different regions to help combat piracy, which honestly is like a much better idea than than
Yeah, it's almost like piracy
Japan's
is a
idea of
service issue.
yeah, instead of trying to
No, piracy is a
hire.
moral issue. If you pirate
Oh,
anything,
that's
you are
true.
morally corrupt and deserve to die.
Yeah. If you don't subscribe to Crunchyroll, even right now, they should just execute you. They should chop off your balls. Um, but yeah, it's a much better idea than, the Tokyo Metropolitan government or whatever, the cool Japan people hiring, manual labor to search through the internet for piracy sites or whatever. Um, Definitely interesting thing. It's pilot program synchronizing. Quote, Naver Webtoon stated that they're doing a pilot program synchronizing Korean and global episode releases. And apparently they've reported that it significantly increased revenue and leadership, with some titles recording more than 200% growth in payments after returning from hiatus. Um, so I'm not sure if I completely believe in the whole like 200% growth kind of thing, but I do certainly believe that obviously it will lead to a big growth because it's like it will be popping all in all regions, right? And eventually, like with that sort of like cross regional kind of thing, there's a higher chance for those series to become viral, right? So, um, but they definitely said that there was a lot more growth and revenue with these simultaneous global releases. I definitely believe that. That makes sense logically. And they said that it also helps with when series come back from hiatus. And they said that also it helps combat piracy. So again, I hope more. What I hope really is that Naver Webtoon is like the star kid on the block right now, right? Because of the upward surge in Korean webtoons, and obviously they are like one of the biggest digital manga webtoon kind of manhwa related platforms in the market right now, right? All of like they obviously the Japanese publishers all have their individual platforms, but they are not as big as webtoons, Naver webtoons, by a long shot, right? Let's just be upfront about
What
that.
about
And
Shonen
so
Jump?
they're like they have their like what I'm saying is their digital platforms are not as big as Naver webtoon. Um, so I think all the big publishers, Kodansha, Shueisha, Shogakukan, whatever, are all going to look at Naver Webtoon and hopefully copy off their strategy. Or, they could just do dumb shit, whatever, right? But we can only hope that they at least take this idea, right, of the synchronized global releases and try to mimic that. And that'll be a great quality of life across all these like digital platforms. So I really hope that does happen. I think that's one of the biggest steps towards really unlocking this sort of like bottleneck that we have currently on manga titles getting shared worldwide. On the down front, though, on the more somber front, the Korean novel and webtoon platform Blice will end its service on June 30th, according to a recent notice posted on the platform. So this launch initially launched in 2018, but obviously, they were probably running out of money, and then they shut down operations. And again, we kind of saw this thing coming on the horizon, right? There were a lot of with the booming of Korean webtoons and with the increasing growth of native webtoons as well, there were a lot of other companies and other groups that want to kind of get in on the action, set up shop, try to expand their um, platform quickly, right? And quickly found out that what they were spending was much bigger than what they were actually getting in terms of revenue. So um, I think it was inevitable that this happened, and I do think this is sort of part of what we call sort of this webtoon bubble, webtoon platforming bubble, right? That is happening, where a lot of these platforms are going bankrupt. I think one or two went bankrupt, right? We covered that in the news like last year, and more of this is going to keep happening. Eventually, I think Naver Webtoon is really only going to be the only dog on the block, which is not good. I'm not saying it's good, but you know, I think the industry is definitely going to feel its limits sooner rather than later. Next piece of news on kind of similar industry vibes, right? More wonderful things are happening at Crunchyroll. ANN has confirmed, reporting for Screen Rant, that Crunchyroll has recently laid off a number of employees after restructuring and redistribution of roles based on location. The company's restructuring is also due to a shift in its e-commerce strategy and not due to cost-cutting measures.
Sure, man. Just complete
Sure,
fucking
man.
lie. Like, whatever.
Former blah, 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 former senior product designer blah, blah, blah stated that she was part of what she called mass layoffs at Crunchyroll. A lot of like HR e-commerce departments, people being laid off, senior product designer blah, blah, blah. What is it? Yeah. And then other reporting. Oh yeah, and also recently Crunchyroll had tried to started to delist a significant portion of like older titles and backlog titles, and has been systematically delisting SKUs from independent publishers, including both anime and manga, as the company is looking to limit its SKU count for products with low inventory turns. So great thing that Crunchyroll can essentially control what we what the Western community can or cannot access in terms of animation. That's really nice. I really
That's
love
cool.
that. But yeah, so they're saying it's like reorg. They're probably, my guess is they're also going to do a lot more layoffs, as the economy becomes tighter. But also they're going to try to replace a lot of these like e-commerce, HR kind of stuff with just AI, chatbots, whatever. And then the Crunchyroll experience will become so much better. As we all know, AI chatbots solve everything. So
It's true.
yeah, so we'll see how it goes. But Crunchyroll obviously in a downward kind of trending situation, while although they still control a lot of the, how do I say this, the a lot of the main bodies of water, a lot of the resources that are vital to the Western anime community. But we'll see how it pans out in a couple of years. And I think that's pretty much it for the news. Not that much news this time around. And we're going to move right on here now to the shoutouts callouts. Everybody here gets one shout out and one call. Each shout out is something that you want to praise to the heavens, 5 out of 5 stars on Yelp. It can be any one person, place, or thing. And call out is the exact opposite, 0 out of 5 rant, rage about. And again, it can be any one person, place, or thing. And we start now with Near. Shout out call, please.
Man, I don't fucking know, man. Shit sucks right now.
What?
I'm not
Do
gonna
you want to
lie.
do your call out
I'm not gonna
first?
lie. I think shit sucks. I mean, my call out is that shit sucks right now. I think. I think everything is bad right now. I don't know. Shoutouts to Capcom, I guess. Capcom's been on a pretty good tear lately.
Mhm.
Even the
Hopefully they can.
Alex storyline there, I heard Alex is very cool.
I don't play Street Fighter, so I don't have to look at that. I don't see it. It's not real. Yeah. Also, they'll probably retcon that because from what I understand, even the Japanese player base is like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah. The main thing is it's like that one picture of like Alex holding the baby and then it like
Yeah,
transitioned that was like
yeah.
I'm not sure why you need to have this picture here. Like you could have just had the rest of the story.
I mean, I think like like the Tsukihime shit posts are like the most like crystallized form of just like, why did you do this? You know what I mean? Where it's like,
Yeah.
I love you as my sister, but also as a woman. It's just like, you didn't need to do this, guys. You already had like the established lore of like them being family.
The thing is, it's like part of it's very much this obsession. I think, especially with modern devs, game devs, right? Not even just like Japanese devs or like fighting games in general, to try to give uh like even series that don't need it or genres that don't need it or characters that don't need it like a serious a deeper like more empathetic story and it's just like you can just have the guy just wrestling like you don't
Yeah,
need to have this
like he
like
can just be an
Thanos
ape.
kind of shit
He
going
can't just
on
be an ape that
like
wanders the streets fighting people. Like, that's
it's like
fine,
nobody
man.
gives a hot shit about like Honda's lineage or, you know what I
Yeah,
mean it's like he's going around butt slamming like but like what are we doing here
yeah, funny. Yeah, games wise, I mean, in terms of actual like output, Capcom's on a roll. Resident
Mhm.
Evil is still good, which is always a blessing because um, we all know that that can turn south very quickly, especially because Capcom recently was like, yeah, we were thinking about making like a co-op multiplayer action shooter for Resident Evil 9. And I was like, no, maybe don't do that. Maybe don't make Resident Evil 6 again. Maybe don't do that. Um, but yeah, Pragmata's looking good. Onimusha's looking good. I forget what else they have around the corner, but um, not Mega Man, haha. But you know,
Yay! A whole year.
um,
Listen, the year dev cycle means it's gonna be really good.
yeah. Not Devil May Cry either, for sure. But you know, maybe one day. But yeah, yeah, I did my call out right. Just
Everything.
the
Oh,
world,
All the
shit not
things.
being
world.
good.
Yeah, shit's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
good,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
it's not really looking like it's gonna get much better. So
yeah.
unless something
Uh,
happens, unless somebody does something, that's all I'm gonna say. Um, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Near. What about you, Toast? Shout out call, please.
I'm gonna shout out. What's the series called again?
Hmm?
What? The one you covered, or
Shiboyugi?
Huh?
What
you
series?
okay?
Yeah.
You stroked out? What's happening?
I'm
What,
gonna
Matt?
I'm gonna shout out Nimi Nightmare's second outfit. No,
Okay.
no,
All right.
no,
Okay, that's fine.
no. I lied.
What about Crony?
Crony's cool. But did she deserve a shout out? Yes. No, I'm gonna shout out. I'm gonna shout out my series. Pretty cool. I did
Okay,
some. I
Shiboyugi,
did
yes.
some Wikipedia research, and I'm like, okay. I'm still not gonna talk about it because I'm not art. I'm not
Yeah, some
art
of that was
major.
straight nonsense, by the way, just saying. But
What's up?
some of that was just straight nonsense.
Yeah, but
Like
it's on
the
Wikipedia, and I'm like,
black
okay,
bars,
sure.
that shit was just straight nonsense. But sure.
CinemaScope aspect ratio, which is rare in modern anime. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what the second sentence was, but like I'll listen to the first one.
Okay, what about
Also
your call out?
ballerinas. Yeah, call out. You know what it is. Fuck you.
Okay.
It's true.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Toast.
You know who you are and what you did. I'll never forgive you.
All right. What about you? Thank you very much, Toast. What about you, Dark?
Yeah, I'm gonna shout out. Invisible Man and his soon-to-be wife. Cause yeah, I can't
Mm,
gush about that series enough. It's really,
nice.
it's really, really good. Definitely one of
And you're
the better series. I think that's gonna end up on my list at the end of the year quite a few times. I don't know. It's gonna be hard to beat in a lot of places. So yeah,
okay.
very, very happy with that. Uh, my call out. Fuck, dude, I don't even know yet.
War.
Nah.
Human folly.
We haven't seen enough yet. I think we're winning, and I think things are really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, the
there was
best part
something to
was
win.
yeah.
No, fucking. I'm gonna have a much simpler call out. I'm gonna call out tempered Gormagala and fucking Monster Hunter
Oh
Wilds
man.
because that shit made me crash out earlier. That shit made me so mad. I was not a happy guy during that.
All right. Thank you very much, Dark. As for my shout out call out, I think, or I'm gonna generally shout out to all the people that were uh kind of helping me out with moving around stuff and so on in real life. In the past couple of weeks, been running around a little bit, back's hurting.
Why would you ever want to move?
But
You ever want to move
no, that's
anything?
true.
Doing,
It's
man.
perfect. The United States is awesome,
Dude,
so
place a Kalshi bet on when the first nuke is flying, and then, everything will work out, I think.
Polymarket bets on
A
when the Japanese
polymarket
prime
bet.
minister will when the Japanese prime minister will actually snap back after Trump tells her, "Hey,
That's not
like,
gonna
like
happen.
you guys
Yeah,
know a
so
lot about
0,
rapes,
so
right?"
never.
Man,
Yeah,
no,
So
I think if
never.
the Pearl Harbor comment caused her to just like immediately leave the room, like nothing will. So
yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised. Like next time, Trump will just like try to test the water, be like, "You guys know a lot about rapes, right? You guys did that like Nanking thing." It's just
Maybe
gonna
like,
be
who
like,
else? Who knows more about radiation? Who knows anything more?
"Oh my
People were
fucking
saying that
god!"
shit. I was like, bro,
Anyways,
it's like, give it a month. Give it a month.
yeah.
He's gonna
Uh,
bring up the bombs.
yeah.
yeah, but yeah. So the shout out to the people who helped me move or are helping me move. Call out to uh I want to say call out to the general food quality in the U.S. I want to say in terms of like being able to eat at like different restaurants and stuff. And I don't live in, and I would say I don't really live in like a bad part of the United States in terms of like being able to access different foods and like higher quality stuff. But it's just like, oh my God, it's like things are so like every time I order something, it's just like, hey, here's $50 for like a kebab that tastes like shit. And it's like, can we not do this? Like, can we please not do this? So I can't
Dude,
do that. But
I love an Uber order of like a Chipotle bowl being like a steakhouse steak price now. I think that's actually kind of sick.
Floppo, $43.
Yeah, you want some? Yeah, it's like,
No.
literally like, hey, a burrito bowl is buy one get one comes out to like $45 now. It's like, oh, okay, sure.
Yeah,
Man, I spent
yeah.
fucking $60 on 30 wings this week.
Yeah.
That shit's
It's
crazy.
like,
It was
yeah,
actually like
and like
54, but you get the you
yeah,
get the
fried
point.
chicken will be like $4 a piece, and you're like, I don't think it should be that price.
That's the thing. It's not even
Like
fried
it's
chicken. It's
single.
just fucking regular wings, like regular wings. Not even like boneless fried or anything like that. It's like, hey, you want some
Yeah,
regular
yeah,
wings? That'll be $1.50 a wing, bud. It's like what?
yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that was my shout out call out. I think with that, we are going to be pretty much done with our episode this week. And again, that's going to be so that's going to be our winter 2026 reviews all done. And we're going to do our preview show of the spring 2026 season on the 4th of April, I believe. After that, we might again have some schedule changes, so be on the lookout for that. But if you do like what we do, we stream our podcast every other Saturday, starting from 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over at twitch.tv/4PlayAnimecast. That's with the numeral four, where we talk about the latest and greatest in Japanese animation media, anime, manga, light novels, web novels, visual novels, and so much more. So you can check us out. Here are our VODs and recordings on Twitch as well as on YouTube. We also give updates on when we're streaming, content, schedule changes, so on our social media, on Facebook, 4PlayAnimecast, on Twitter, at 4PPAnimecast, and on Blue Sky, at 4PlayerAnimecast. So you can check us out here, you can check us out there, and as always, we'll see you next time.